Well, welcome, and welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. How was your weekend? Hope you had a great weekend as well. The phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to hear from each and every one of you. We love to hear from each and every one of you on this day. We got a great topic, and like I said, we're gonna wait till everybody get in, and once they get in, we got a few people. We got ID, we got Anthony. Good morning. We got I can't see the other one. I think it's 130. I think that's what it is. We got love and live. Good morning to you. As I say, the phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to hear from each and every one of you this morning. I see Captain Leonard. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Hey, your video acting up on you this morning?
Man, it doesn't even matter now. When I turn it on, it don't even come on. But let's go back to the let's go back to the avatar and put something like that in there, so something will be there.
Good deal. I'm gonna go full screen until
Yes,
we get
sir.
your video working. But Leonard, what is going on with you, man? How was your weekend, man? You had a great weekend this weekend. What'd you do?
Yes, I always have a good weekend when I have a opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
go and volunteer.
Okay.
And remember the flyers I sent you about the Facebook-a-thon for
Yes, sir.
the beloved community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we had the opportunity to do this weekend for their Facebook-a-thon to raise funds for
Mm-hmm.
their project. And if
How'd it
people are
go?
not familiar with it, it's over at 1113 Ira Street in Atlanta. And the
Mm-hmm.
pastor there is Keith Slaughter, or the senior servant is Brother Keith Slaughter. And ever since I met this man, the love for the community, no one does it like him.
Mm-hmm.
No
That's
one,
good.
it's hard to find today people like him
Mm-hmm.
who not
That's
only
good.
preach the word from its proper place,
Mm-hmm.
but also serves the community as the main thing for that
Yes.
church being there
Mm-hmm.
in that
Mhm.
community. I'm talking about feeding people every single day,
Wow.
acquiring new
Wow.
buildings for new
Mm-hmm.
services and programs to provide. And we just had a great time meeting with various activists who
Mm-hmm.
came in to share what they're doing in the community and to support that work at the beloved community.
Wow.
And I wish I could get my camera to work right so I could show you the shirt and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But man, we had an awesome time this weekend. They did it pretty much all day Friday,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and it was just a good thing, man. It was awesome.
Okay. Now, what's the address, and is there a cash app or something that somebody wanted to support?
Most definitely, if you want to support them through Cash App, you can do that at the Beloved Community ATL at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if
That's
you
good.
want to do it on the Cash App, it's just the Beloved Community.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Dollars.
always, dollar sign the Beloved Community.
Mm-hmm.
Donations are always needed. They're doing a great work. They have open air worship. Even when COVID first started, they didn't
Mm-hmm.
stop. They had
Mm-hmm.
open air worship right there in the parking lot on
Wow.
Sundays at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are, I made the comment, if you need somewhere to take all that money you were sending Creflo, send it down there to the beloved community, man. You can go down there and
Mm-hmm.
see the work being done. And if you want to participate, there's a place for you to even participate because it's a daily program.
And then put the address of the church in the chat in the
Okay.
private, and I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna put it on the screen. I want people to be able to actually have that physical address. So don't want to give them no excuse to not go out there and support. I
Right, right.
couldn't find the excuse. I couldn't find the address. I couldn't. No. We're gonna put it up there on the screen for you because when I find that people that's doing great things, man, I want to do everything
Yes,
I can
sir.
do to support them and put the best foot forward to make sure that you all and everybody included do the same thing. So that's good, Leonard. That's
Yes,
real good.
sir. So we had a good time doing that, man.
I would love to have a conversation with the pastor one day. I would really love to have a
Oh
conversation.
man, he's so funny. They call him the trap pastor because
Mm-hmm.
you've never heard ministry like this. Never. I can guarantee it. I can
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you. If you have not had the opportunity to participate in an ethnocentric worship place,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you'll be shocked. You'll be surprised.
Wow. So watch this. Watch this. And this is for the listeners. But what's different about the experience?
The best thing about the experience is the main focus is love.
Mm-hmm.
It's love for everything and everybody. It's an expression of who you are, sharing that love. I heard a one pastor preacher put it, what is love without God?
Mm.
What is that? We talked about
Mm-hmm.
it before.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We did.
This is where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Not from what your biased view of religion and the history of religion. It's not about that. It's about the love of God, moving through people, doing things that are examples of that love for God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that's important. Doesn't matter what background you're from, what shape, color, how much money you got, what kind of car you drive.
Doesn't matter.
None of that. You
Mm-hmm.
can go to a place and worship with the freedom to assemble and worship that we have here in America
And
and do it
nobody's
your way.
looking at you based on how much money you got and
No,
all the other foolishness.
no, not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. It's for you to express yourself in that way
Mm-hmm.
with the creator. And
Mm-hmm.
it's from the original point of view.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Now you know we got to get into the political arena. What's going on, Leonard?
Sure. Well, there are a couple of things that are going on that I bring your attention to. Of course, we've
Mm-hmm.
seen the committee do what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's make sure we're putting the pressure on the government to do what it needs to do. The laws that need to be made. The Department of Justice needs to pursue convictions at the highest rate as if these were Muslims
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
attacked those buildings on 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sentiment you should have for everyone that contributed, participated, and supported what happened on January the 6th in any kind of way.
Leonard, you know what the and I could be being a little selfish when I say this, but you know what's the saddest part about this whole situation?
What's that?
Why did it have to happen on my birthday?
Hey, I don't know why it happened on had to happen on your birthday. I
Oh,
think
my birthday.
that part of it was a coincidence.
365 days a year in a year. And them jokers had to pick my birthday to go out there and do some mess like that.
Ain't that something? Now you get to remember your birthday with that every
And
year.
everybody else look in here. What happened on January 6th? Oh my goodness. Well, what about Raheem? No, I'm just being silly,
But
man.
yeah, that was one thing. And another important thing is that one, you need to send messages as you can get them to the White House to Biden. I
Mm-hmm.
think it would be a very harsh mistake to make any type of a deal with Mitch McConnell as it
Mm-hmm.
relates to any type of appointment to the Supreme Court.
Leonard, are you pleased with Biden's presidency?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but it's not for me to sit back in judgment.
Mm-hmm.
It's to hold him accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not in love with him. He has a
Mm-hmm.
job to do, and I want him to do that job.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing that job well. He needs more people around him so he can make sure that he stays abreast of what is desired by the people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to get caught up in things, especially when you're the commander in chief. That's a huge responsibility and a huge job. And no one knows what that job is like a lot of times unless you were there, or unless you're
Mm-hmm.
next to the man making these
Mm-hmm.
decisions. But one, we need to definitely address the Supreme Court,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be something as shocking as increasing the number of justices or doing
Mm-hmm.
something to limit the partisanship
Mm-hmm.
involved.
Mm-hmm. It's been said, and we got Mr. Hicks and Curtis with us this morning. I want to visit them as well. But it's been said that the Republican Party is going after two other things. They succeeded in the Roe versus Wade. Now they're going after the Obamacare, and which they've been going after it for a long time.
Right. You know that.
And the same-sex marriage. They're trying to do away with that as well. And I'm gonna go to everybody on this. We got Mr. Hicks here, and we have Curtis. So I want to hear all y'all's input. What do you think about what they're trying to do?
Well, it's what they've always been trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not new. We know what they stand for. That's why it's hard to believe that people still support the GOP.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've never been about freedom. They've never been about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
They're always about trying to oppress individuals based on some very narrow point of view as it relates to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Wow. Mr. Hicks, I heard you over there, Mr. Hicks. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
What do you think about?
It appears.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, sir. We'll ask him. Mm-hmm.
I really came in on the end what the brother was just saying there, so I didn't hear your questions or how you shape things.
Well, we were talking about the Republican Party. They've actually overturned the Roe versus Wade, and it's been in conversations that they're going after two other things, one of which they've been going after forever, which is the Obamacare, and they're also targeting the same-sex marriage. What do you think about what they're trying to do, or do you think is it for the good or bad, or what do you think about this whole situation that they're trying to do?
Well, I look at it like I said again. I'm apolitical. I don't have alliance to any party or any ideology. I study facts and history, and I make a critical decision based off that. When I hear those kind of people that have an ideology and loyalty base, a loyalty base to a party rather than principles and ideas. When he said, well, what has the Republican Party has done for us? Check the history. Check the history. I don't argue, debate, because I've been in those too many. I don't win them because people just put up how's that? They put up a mental block. They have ability to be objective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have allegiance that they've vowed to all their life with their parents and everybody else. But the Democratic Party has been nothing but a push toward French kind of revolution. Even now, I was reading some things on the weekend talking about all the things groups are rising up that wanted a revolution. They were talking about they want a physical revolution, arming themselves and changing their whole ideology. I think this thing here, in this situation, there's a right and there's a wrong side. I'm on the righter side, and that has to be conservatives. I won't say Republicans. They wash their hands in both dirty water. But it's clear here that man and woman was based on a principle that everybody agreed with. Roe versus Wade, whatever it is, killing. It's like using abortion as a contraceptive, and women's right about her body. What about the baby's right? I have a suggestion. What about this? What if men, when someone got pregnant out of wedlock, the man would get snipped because it always had a repair. He can't go out and make no more babies.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look at the history of Bao. Look at the baby's human sacrifice to our history.
Mr. Hicks, let me ask you this question: Am I hearing in a roundabout way we're saying that the Roe versus Wade is really targeting the women, and there's no there's nothing for the men or no penalty for the men? So get them snipped or something like that as a form of penalty.
That's a point of penalty and correction, because he can always have it redone and make babies when he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole situation of this whole the contradictions always around by these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 minute you got to take a shot or you're gonna lose your job, and you got to put a mask. You can't do this. That's your body. That's your freedom guaranteed by the right. But they can make a mandate and force everybody to obey, and everybody else like sheep just go along with it. Even now, they're starting it over again. They're testing to see how willing people are to obey rules. Over my lifetime, I've seen all these rules come up. Seatbelts before that you get penalized for your own decision, but it makes the car manufacturers billions of dollars. They put them in every one of the cars. So it's an increase. I just that whole Democratic Republican kind of argument things from either side to me is so silly.
Okay.
Just look at the. Okay, I just last chance.
No. You guys some more thoughts, brother? Go ahead. Express.
Well, it gets me so upset when I hear people repeating things that they just heard somebody else say on the television. And you can't go to Google and say you did a research. You Google something, you think you did a research. That's not a research. It takes some hours of studying, some discipline to understand, to then to be able to see a little clear, where you don't throw out things attacking 71% who voted for Republicans. 71 million people voted for them guys. It's a split down the middle. But now they're unemployables. Then you hype about January 6th. And I'm telling you, the documents will show that was an operation. They had implants inside there leading that thing. Then now they're about to add the Muslims and blow up the twin titles. That's just the hope they put. There were people. And there were people from this country, military, industrial, just like it has been in all the history, to the sinking of the Titanic, to the founding of the banks, all of that stuff. And I guess I'm in a very different kind of mood this morning.
That's good.
Some deeper research and understand how much we were damaged during the process of that stuff. But they did it without help.
Good deal. Let me. You on fire this morning, brother? Let me hold some of that. Don't go to where you stay. Right there where you at, brother. Stay right there where you at. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
And I'm already talking. What's going on?
Hey, we're talking about the whole situation, man. The Republican Party, they've already overturned the Roe versus Wade. Now that it's been said that they're going after, which they've been going after for a long time, but this is not new. The Obamacare, they want to do away with that, and same-sex marriage. So, Curtis, what do you say about that? What are they trying to do? What is their whole mission?
The biggest. Okay. You throw things out there that's familiar to the people, so that people are focused. While all at the same time you have a larger mission. The next big thing, the big thing that they're going after under the carpet of Obamacare is voters' rights. That's really what we should be paying attention to, because at the end of the day, according to the Hippocratic Oath of doctors, right? A doctor could lose his license if he refused to provide treatment.
Yes.
According to the Hippocratic Oath. And if you want to press that, you can press that and have this man censured, or this man or woman censured, and or their license removed. Right? Or you do them from practice according to the Hippocratic Oath. So see, in my opinion, they throw Obamacare out there so that Obamacare, it has a ring to it, because you got to think, it was a big issue for 4 years, and this, that, and the third. So it has a ring to it. While all at the same time, you backdooring a piece of legislation to stop these people from voting.
What legislation?
Man, I'm gonna be honest, man, and there has been some Republicans over the years that I have actually agreed with. Right? Certain things they said I have agreed with. I agree with taking care of. I agree with being fair and trying to do what you can to help aid and assist business in America. I agree with that. I don't agree with the corporate welfare that goes to to the Fortune 500s that I agree with helping small businesses in America grow. I agree with that. You know, but what you have right now, in my opinion, is it's not nothing new. It's done been around the Marbury Bush several times. Which is a group of people who have had one play in their playbook. They have had a series of maybe 3 plays in their playbook. And for 400 plus years, they have been running the same plays for 400 years. And now you have saying, no, you're not going to run this play on the. So I believe they're being exploited. And I believe that what they use is a whole lot of identity politics. If I can get you to vote your emotion and not your conscience, then I can almost get you to vote any kind of way I want you to vote.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, yo, this man, this Republican Party right now, and I done heard, I'm gonna land the plane right here. I done heard black folk, Latino folks, I done heard white folk, I done heard Asian folk, I done heard any multitude of people in this country. I done heard them and seen them literally TV and say, well, the Republican Party is the party that freed the slaves and you shouldn't be voting Democrat. And you know what my response to that is always, Raheem?
What's that?
The Republican Party you talking about of then is not the Republican Party of now. And nothing about their behavior shows you that it's the same Republican Party, because it's not.
Good deal.
Nothing about how do you, here's the biggest hypocrisy known to man and known in our time, right? And I said it, I think, about a week ago.
Wrap it up, because
put legislation, I'm wrapping it up right now. How do you put legislation up there to deny a woman's right to have an abortion? But then you shoot down the legislation and get these people during a crisis and shortage milk for their babies. How do you deny a woman's right to have an abortion? And then you shoot down any legislation that prevents the killing of these very same children that you supposedly defending. It's all hypocrisy, man. I don't, you know, their hypocrisy is I don't even know how to explain this, man.
Good deal. Let me keep this thing going on. And Leonard, I need you to take a deep breath, Leonard. Take a deep breath. Because there's a lot of reading I need you to do right here, brother. You ready? This is a Facebook user.
Man, I don't feel like reading all this.
There you go.
Roe versus Wade has to do with the fear that some whites have concerning the Great Replacement theory. This is about them stopping white women from killing their babies. Black people should be concerned about the number of deaths occurring daily in the black community. Police violence, black on black violence, 23% COVID-19 deaths, other treatable diseases but no health care, 38% prison population are crippling the black community subtly.
What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have no thoughts on that. That's somebody else's opinion. So, you know, it's opinion after opinion after opinion. I would rather somebody tell me what choice they're going to make and what they're going to do to make something happen. I don't need rhetoric. The main issue is that one, either you are for oppression or you are against oppression. I am against oppression.
And so are you saying that Roe versus Wade is a form of oppression?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything, that decision that someone tries to force upon you is oppression. Now, whether or not how it affects you may be different, but the agenda is to oppress and to strip choices away from American citizens. So anytime that happens, I'm against it
Mm-hmm.
because I'm against that type of treatment of other people. You got people here talking about this ain't this. Oh, that nobody said you had to go get an abortion anyway. This ain't
Mm-hmm.
even about you. Because see, you don't think like that. See, this is why if you're such a Christian, your ways ought to be higher than the law's ways anyway. So these laws that they are making shouldn't affect you because you're good with God, and the decision that you're going to make is the right decision for you, regardless of the state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to have an abortion, guess what? Don't have one, and no one is going to force you to have one. You
Mm-hmm.
still have that right. Now, why is it necessary, do you feel the need to take that right away from someone else?
Mm-hmm.
That is the question. Why do you feel that need to do that as an American citizen?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Why?
That's a heck of a question that I think if asked the people that's actually in place, they won't be able to answer that question. That's a question I don't think they will be able to answer or want to answer.
I mean,
But
there's just certain things that people take to go too far.
Mm-hmm.
Like with same-sex marriage. Okay, I married who I wanted to marry. No one took that right away from me. Matter of fact, my ancestors fought against those that tried to take that right away from them. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to continue that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you marry a house cat. You understand me?
Them bitch interesting babies.
But think, what kind of American are you
Mm-hmm.
to want to take that right away from someone else?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing? Don't you put that coffee cup up? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Leonard.
Good morning.
I got a question for you. We talking about the whole situation with the Republican Party. They've already overturned the Roe versus Wade. It's been said that they're gonna go after Obamacare next, and then also same-sex marriages. I'm gonna come to you from an angle with the same-sex marriages. The LGBTQ community. What do you think that fight is going to be like when they try to go against that same-sex marriage?
Well, I feel I'm right of same-sex marriages. If it's illegal for 2 consenting adults, I'm under the law. You come from perspective. Under the law, if I got to go to get a right, then I think that's discrimination. You don't allow somebody to get a consenting adult. You see what I'm saying? Even though I'm against that, but from the perspective of law, if I have to go through the legal, which shouldn't be of the law to license me to marry anybody, but since anybody that's licensed to marry another consenting adult should be allowed to do so. That makes sense.
It does. It does. But what they're saying right now is that's one of the targets that they have. That's one of the targets that, they've been trying to go after the Obamacare for so long. Ever since it came into existence, they've been trying to overturn that. But let me do this. I got quite a few people that's actually tuning in. 508-924-3521. Excuse me. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your heart and hear your heart in this conversation. Mr. Hicks. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about, how do you think the get back gonna be if they try to overturn the same-sex marriages from the LGBTQ community?
It's going to be a stink. They're going to fight for it because they're trying to destroy the very foundations of any civilization. The relationship of family, man and wife, the very core of any kind of thriving civilization. I think that it's the right thing. I was looking back to the Dred Scott's decision. I think that's the one.
Dred Scott.
When they made the decision, and it was a legal process. It was biased, but it was a legal process listed in the book. And they looked at it, went back and looked at it, and said, "This is not a right. This don't agree with the very basis of what we say, the Constitution." That was the same situation with abortion. It's not a right. It was never a right. You didn't have no right to kill a baby. You don't have a right to kill anything under legal circumstances, the legal kind of self-defense and all that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I have the freedom of being apolitical. By that I mean I learned real young, as a young soldier in Vietnam. The game, I saw the game then. Got me discharged because I refused to fight from then on. I'm not fighting. You can face stripes. You can send me to jail. Do what you want. I'm not doing it. I went for commanders. That was outstanding truth. They said from the beginning, but I had an awakening. I saw that both sides of this game, from a historical point of view, is playing us. Our hope is not in that. Who is it? Marcus Garvey. Up, you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. Elijah's going to do for yourself. Do for yourself. Don't be looking for handouts. And that's what the conservative view is. Don't give them entitlement. Make people get up off their butts and work. Give them jobs. Give them opportunities. Don't make no welfare plantation. The history of the January 6th. Check this. All this here has about January 6th, but all the stuff that went out west, all that stuff. Because Congressmen stand out, wherever you find them, get in their face, you see them in it, and judges make a decision, follow them to the go stand out in front of the house. That the Democrats straight up are some cowards. They don't fight fair. They don't play fair. And anybody that can't see that, get out of your cap and look and see. Right now, in the situation, this point in history here, one side is right and another side is wrong. Obama did more for LBG2 and gays than he did for anybody else. That's their agenda. That's the bottomist. That's the man becoming a woman with a goat's head. It's all about that.
So you say one side is right, excuse me, and one side is wrong. Mr. Hicks, where would you draw that line? Who do you think is right and who do you think is wrong from your viewpoint?
From my viewpoint, the people can't say what a woman is, can dodge questions and play games, can't answer straight out questions because they see they're going to expose their hand that they're about this agenda to change the very nature of man, call it construct. You can identify what you want. You got the LBG. Who played identity politics? Which side played identity group politics? That's clear. Look and see. Who can control all the airwaves? What ideas do you hear more than any other ideas? What about Hunter Biden? What about that stuff? What about Biden? What about the president? I remember his speeches on that floor calling them serial crazy kids, lock them up. I mean, people don't remember that. If you ain't black, don't vote for me. He say that kind of stuff and people still go vote for that. Yeah. Because you know what? They create an atmosphere. You hated Trump so much that you put an old man in that can't halfway think. Who running this stuff? He ain't doing it. It's Biden doing it. But look at this. Biden's doing a terrible job. He was never geared for the job. He's the only hope they have. What they gonna do next?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna move on because we got our captain here as well. I'm gonna go to him. But let me ask you this question, Mr. Hick. Do you think that and if you had to judge on your scale, on your standards, and from where you and from your experiences and where you're sitting, do you think that Trump did a better job than Biden is doing?
Sure he did. Anybody, whoever look now in this past, see what evolved. See what evolved in this guy when he first walked. Matter of fact, they announced that he was president before the count was there. There's something to that, something to the mail-in ballot, something to the COVID coming at what time it did. Nothing coincidental, nothing accident. These people plan, they got billions of dollars to plan think tanks, chalk minds. This all stuff is coordinated, and we can't see it. We still only talking about the public. Let's do an issue. What have the Democrats done for us over the years that we voted loyally to their party? What have they given us?
Okay.
I looked at Biden talking to our back with the black leaders in that telecast thing, and he talked to them like they was kids. Al Sharpton, all the rest just sat there and bit their tongue.
Okay. And like I said again, though, I don't give anybody their opinion. Everybody got their own, and I respect everybody's opinion and from where they're coming from. And so, I just say that we, just be respectful and let everybody have their opinion.
Yes,
Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Peace to the God.
Hey, peace to you, brother. Peace to you. I'm asking a question, and I want to hear your heart on this. And I know you don't like a lot of politics, but I'm asking you this question anyway here. they're talking about the Republican Party. They've all actually already overturned the Roe versus Wade. They've been trying to overturn the Obamacare forever, ever since it came into existence. And now they're trying to. It's been said they're also trying to overturn the same-sex marriage, where a man can't marry a man. You know what it is. What do you think the feedback or the get back is going to be from the LGBTQ community if they try to implement that and overturn the same-sex marriages? What kind of feedback are they going to get?
First and foremost, they are very strong. The LGBT is a strong community.
Mm-hmm.
The overturning will get a serious backlash.
Mm-hmm.
But dog in that fight. Every time I'm out here, boots on the ground, politics is important. It's like going to you don't need everything. There's some things you don't eat. Something. That's the way politics with people. Opinions and like this part, Democrats are saying some people like what the Democrats, some people hate the buffet. You go to the buffet. I don't know. So it may be stacked with crap as well. I'm a Muslim. I don't eat that. That may be the Republican. I buy it. But Lord, I like that baked chicken, salmon. Okay. Hey. I don't like the war religion because it right here on this show, division. Why? Believe in one of the two. Talk about something common, something that allows us to be our religious belief, our political beliefs, and talk about the universal that are being constantly by us listening to certain things in our mind. I just want to put this out there. Brother Raheem, in the nature question, why do our people like the devil? It give you nothing. And then it doesn't have anything to do with number 10. He put fear in him when he was a little boy. The question is, why do he fear now? Because he taught him to eat the wrong food. What did that do? That made him other than taught him to eat the wrong food. When that he taught him to eat diet that he gave our people during murder, the seat, those were of everything of their food, and what it did. So now we
Captain,
got to get into the
Captain. Your volume is kind of coming in and out, just kind of skipping a little bit. Ibrahim, will you heard the same thing I'm hearing?
I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah,
I am.
okay, yeah, it's skipping a little
I'm
bit.
sorry about that. Can you hear?
Go ahead. Let me see.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Let me. I got it in on that on my phone. But,
You gonna call in? Because I know you're really putting something out there, man. I want to make sure everybody can hear and understand what you're saying, because it's kind of skipping every other word. It's kind of coming in and out, and it's not real clear what you're saying.
I want to close on this. It's the kind of that we're constantly bombarded with every take into our minds with the dictate. If on this show I take in not one lens, something that makes me a better human, thank you for that opportunity. But when it comes to everybody is going to have their opinion, there's not going to be politics. So I like to always deal with things and answer on. Even what I say may be, but we need to stick with things, my opinion. And I took a thing because, that's really not my fault for rattling on. Forgive me for taking up this time, dear brother.
Oh, no. You're fine. I wish we could have heard everything that you said. Was kind of coming in and out. If we can't get it better on the video side, maybe calling in might be a little more effective, so we can actually hear everything that you're saying, because I want to make sure everybody can hear you. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I wish I could have heard what Captain Dennis
Yeah,
was saying, because
I know.
anyone who tried to listen would not know what point he's trying to make.
Yeah,
it was broke up just that bad.
Yeah.
But my thoughts on the whole matter is the same. I don't change from day to day like that. I'm not seeking to go back to the days when no. I'm not interested. I have the things to deal with now and going forward for me and my family. So what happened to you and your family and family may not even apply to me. Life evolves, and you have to be able to adjust accordingly. So if you stuck in another century, guess what? It's not going to match up very well for you. If you stuck in how you used to like it and how it used to be for you, without any regard for anyone else, that's selfish. God wants me to do what I can in relationship with him, my personal relationship with him. And never has he ever indicated to me that I'm supposed to run around here policing everybody else, forcing everybody else to comply to what I want them to do and how I want them to live. I didn't get that. I didn't get why it's so important for another man to make the decision about who I love and who I sleep with. You a sick individual if that's how you think. You want to impose your lifestyle on other people this way. Well, I don't want them to get married. Why don't you want other people to get married to the people that they love? Why you don't want other people to live where they want to live, eat what they want to eat, do what they want? Is it hurting you? How is it hurting you? Or are you just so set in your ways that you have bought into restricting other people from pursuing life, liberty, and happiness? This was the whole purpose of the movement. This is what made the treatment of our ancestors so inhumane. This need for somebody else to control someone else. I've never been that way. So I don't understand that need to do that to someone else.
And I think a part of what Leonard is saying, just not that I need to clear up everything, and Leonard very good at articulating for himself, but I think what he's saying for you that may be listening out there, to have the freedom and not be able to and not have that was the purpose of the struggles, so everybody can have the freedom to live their life the way they want to live their life, and not be placed in a situation where somebody could tell you you can't do this or you can't do that. That's what it was fighting for you to have the right for certain rights. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis?
Yeah, I'm right here.
What's on your heart? Talk to me.
What's on my heart is, man, I'm gonna go with that old African proverb, man. The one where the tiger gets smacked by the king of the jungle, which is the lion, because he was arguing with a donkey. So I mean, people gonna believe how they want to believe. People gonna go with the bottom line is it's all identity politics, man, and the folks are falling for it like somebody done told them there's a bridge for sale in Brooklyn for $1. Folks have connected their own identities to their political conscience, and that's a recipe for disaster. Because I'm like Leonard, who am I to tell somebody who they can and cannot love, man? Here's something, I'm going to give you a jewel. And I'm not speaking on hearsay. I'm speaking on what I know because I worked the campaign. I worked the presidential campaign. First off, let's dispel this myth that Trump and Biden is old. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're only 3 years apart. If I'm not mistaken. So why that rule don't apply? Why the Biden rule of age don't apply to the Trump? See, that's the kind of foolishness they do. They apply rules to everybody else but themselves. So now you want to talk about LGBTQ. Well, let me just, man, I might get killed for saying this. Let me just be honest for a minute. If you peep in their closet and stop being so doggone closed-minded, you'll find that half of them is LGBTQ.
Please preach that.
Oh no, now I'm gonna tell you an inconvenient truth. I took care of a kid, Raheem, that was 16 years old, Raheem. 16, he was LGBTQ. You know what K Street is, Raheem?
I heard
Thank you. You tell him.
You heard of K Street?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they go get them.
Where all the Republicans live at when they stand in D.C. Like, yeah, they got houses in their particular states where their wives and their children are. But K Street is where they stay when they in D.C. for work. I took care of a 16-year-old kid that could tell me where everything was in one of the houses on K Street. Literally drove me a map. This one stay in this room, this one stay in that room, this one stay in this room, this one stay in that room. That's how I found out that a certain particular person, I won't say his name, is LGBTQ. Wow. You all know who I'm talking about. From a state that looks like Africa almost in its shape. We all know who we talking about.
Not Miss Lindsay.
Go by the name of Lady G. We all know who I'm talking about. 16-year-old kid that was paying him. The reason why he was in South Carolina was because the state of Maryland was trying to get him off the street from being a prostitute.
Wow.
Listen, Raheem.
I hear you.
I'm so sick. I'm so sick. That is running rapid. You claim for one thing, but your actions show that you're totally for something totally different. You claim you for this, but your actions show that what you're really for is power and privilege. That's what you're really for, capital. You ain't for the betterment of the people.
30 seconds, Curtis.
You throw out here that this, that, and the third, ain't nobody did nothing. But the last time I looked, when I compare brain pants, and the last time I looked, I compare legislation. This whole Roe v. Wade thing, and I end it like this, this whole Roe v. Wade thing is the last piece of legislation or legislative action that was done in almost the last 20 years by that party. They ain't passed nothing. They ain't gave you a budget in almost 20 years. Are people not paying attention? Are people not paying attention?
Good. Got to keep it going, Curtis. Hold on for a second. Don't go to us. Stay right there, brother. I got to. And I looked up what you had said, and you're absolutely right, man. Trump is 76 years old, and Biden is 79. So there's only a 3-year difference. So I don't understand. Basically, what that is saying is when Trump was born, Biden was 3. There's not a huge difference there. There's not a huge difference. Ibrahim, I saw your hand up, brother. What's on your heart? Ibrahim, you there? Okay. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Well, I was just looking at the political advertisement, I guess. Anytime being critical, if you look at the situation and you're not confused, you're not being critical, because there's confusion on both sides of this aisle. I was watching a thing on television, and I had these preachers was preaching about the Roe versus Wade, and they were pretty much on the side of that, which is sort of what you expect because that's the way of the populace. That's the way to get the money for it and go where the people go. And I tried to look up. I was trying to find something in the scripture, Quran and Bible, that speaks of when births happen, just from that basis. I went to Leviticus 17 and 11, and I had it on the Bible. I had it open, but I lost it now. But it was saying that life was in the blood, and that's what life was, in the blood.
Mhm.
In the Cain and Abel, that Abel's blood cried out to the Creator. So my point is that blood develops very early in inbreeding, from what I understand. So if you look at the science of things and get the emotions out of the way and this whole thing, but the industry that's built around abortion, you see that it comes down to a question of, I guess, morality and faith and metaphysics and stuff like that. They're universal laws. You can break them on this level, but the ramification of breaking those laws are in the cosmos. You cannot kill, cannot murder. That's pre-planned. And as far as that age thing, I'm 73 years old. I'll be 74 my next birthday. And I tell you, I can run blocks around person half my age. I don't look my age. That's what everybody tell me. And I'm saying that to say that people age at a different rate. It's not just based off age. It's based off of performance. This guy's falling downstairs. This guy's missing his lines, shaking hands in the air. I mean, come on now. Open your eyes. Be honest. See what you see. Don't get out of viewing it from your political view. That guy, whoever's running things, it's not him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let me ask you this question,
true.
Ms. Hicks. Let me ask you this question with this whole, and I want to hear. I want to hear your whole. I'm gonna pause your time. You only got about 40 seconds, but I'm gonna pause your time and so you can get all 40 of your seconds.
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you this question. This whole Trump situation. How do you feel? How do you feel about the whole January 16th? Was he a part of it? Did he have any hand in it? Should he be incarcerated?
I think he was stupid. He said some things, but I think going over through that thing, look at the vice president. She put up a fund to bail out people that was in the protest.
No. Let's stay where we are, Mr. Hicks. You know, you real good. You real good at staying on topic. Let's stay on topic. Did Mr. Trump, former President Trump, did he have any say so? Did he do anything wrong in regards to the January 6th situation?
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did. I think that speech that he made there
Mm-hmm.
was bad. It set him up. It set him up for the game they were setting up for him. But I
Mm-hmm.
want to draw that in content now. The fairness thing, a fairness kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fairness is what is the same kind of enthusiasm for the other violations on the other side?
Okay. But
You know,
see,
why not?
but yeah, I could go with that. I could run with you with that one as well. But my thing is, when I ask a specific question, I kind of want to stay with where we are. We can, you can ask any question that you want to ask, and I'll answer the best I can. But my thing is, should Trump be incarcerated for his part in January the 6th?
No, of course not.
Wow. Okay.
Of course not. He should have been impeached those 2 times. He should have impeached after he left. They had a game. They wanted him out. He's not part of the club.
Wow. Okay.
He's on the,
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Hold on, Curtis. Hold on. I gotta go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning? Toya, you there? Okay, we got to come back to Toya. I think she may be having some issues with a phone line there. Let me go. No, I'm not even gonna touch it right now, Curtis. I'm going to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart? Mute your line, Curtis.
Man, look, I might as well mute my line with Curtis. I mean,
Wow.
what you want me to say?
Wait, you know what I'm actually? The question I'm asking, brother. What's on your heart? Talk to me.
I mean, what's on my heart is the fact that I pray for everyone to want to do well,
Mm-hmm.
to want to do better,
Should
to
Trump be
want to
incarcerated?
survive.
Should
Man,
Trump be? Huh?
Trump should be hung on the gallows in front of the White House.
Wow.
Him and all of his friends that support what he did. Now we don't went all over sea and everything, destroying people, killing people. Why? Why do all that? But if this man who wants to be a dictator, you're fine with him? All the proof is in your face. If you don't want it, you obviously are for them. Now, I'm not, that's your choice. But do understand, I'm on the other side. And I'm not ambiguous about it. I don't make excuses about it or anything. It's God who supplies me, not public opinion. I don't need to go read what nobody else said about it or what have you. I'm going to do unto others as I would have them do unto me. Period. It's not up for discussion. What another man has for himself is his issues. I don't have to deal with them. I'm going to go do what I do. I am for the benefit of the majority of people who love and trying to respect the rights of other human beings. And if you're not for that, I don't rock with you.
Wow.
Matter of fact, we can throw rags up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, that I have to let you know that I'm not on your side. I'll do that. So don't ever come to me. Well, Leonard, do you think you could understand? Get thee behind me, Satan.
Wow.
Can you hear me now?
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Yes, who was that?
That was it's Hebrew.
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. At first we were talking about the evidence speaks for itself. The man should be locked up. What was happening was sedition. Wherever you want to believe in everything, it was actual fact. The man helped plot the change. If you've been paying attention to the, then you know what happened. If you deny the facts that when they were trying to out of office and everything, then you deny the facts of what's been going on. If you think Trump is better than another, then you deny the facts of what's going on. Now, my thing is this, right? And we talk, so I won't go down another path. All right, you know how to do it. But yeah, I see you letting other people go down these dark paths, right? But I'm gonna stay out of that. If you don't learn from things that happen, then you're not learning from anything. You're not listening only to your mind and as it said in the Quran, right, of bliss, right? Listen to God. If you deny what has occurred and what is occurring now, the other thing I want to speak on is that there's no difference that that's what the Democratic was and what the Republican Party did. I was around and I was participating. In fact, when we changed from the Republican Party did nothing since Abraham Lincoln days. Now you can test that fact and go right. And a lot of laws that were passed on the protect Congress, right? And a lot of laws was mentioned, right? Law is a living thing. It's a living document. It predicates on autocracy, which is the majority of the people in democracy, their trends, their value, and their fads. It's always predicated. Nothing different. It hasn't dropped down from the heaven. It's not necessarily a thing we're going to act with each other and how we try to get along, right? That's law. Now, you want to come up with anything else, reasoning, that's all well and good. You want to have an opinion, that's all well and good. But law, what you started off about, Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade was an opinion to people of color, or try to limit the population of immigrants coming in from overseas where they be. It was tested on people that persuade people of color. It was tested on the Mexicans, tested on the Africans, right? That's what it was for. Now the law passed to help, but I lived through and was a part of the 60s. That's when you were able to keep from having pregnancies. That was a mandate to have sex without pregnancy. That developed a whole sexual revolution, what we have today. You know, let's look at facts and trends and disregard fiction, right? And another being said that I like to really harp on. If you're the same person, you think the same way when you're 40 and 50 and 60, and you still think the same way, then the problem is you. You have around you every day what shapes and develop your character and your mind. You know, so that's right. And I on heart. But the truth is that the worse than the president. As a matter of fact, it's better than the current president. If you look at the laws and trends and get away from saying, look at the facts, look at the economy, look at everything that developed to the economy that we have, just like we're talking about Obamacare. That wasn't Obamacare. That's something that 20 presidents before him tried to get health care for the majority of people. And we called Obamacare because he was what? Black. We're going to give anything a black person did. We called Obamacare. It's not Obamacare. It's affordable health.
Let me say this to you, and you know your 3 minutes are pretty much up. I actually let you go over your 3 minutes because I wanted to let you finish your point. But my thing is this right here. Even let's deal with what you just said. Even if there were 20 presidents before him that tried to pass it, you don't give him any credit. It was he's the one that actually got it done.
I give him credit. I give him 100% credit. Everybody's trying to strike it by calling it, using his name in it when it's just affordable health care. We need free health care in this country. I mean, really.
Okay.
I can't think of nothing else.
That's the whole thing. Even here, we got to keep it moving, brother. Hold on, don't go nowhere. Stay right there. I'm definitely gonna come right back to you. But my whole thing is, you know, I'm gonna give a person credit for what they did. If I don't care if 100 presidents tried to pass it before him, if none of them was able to get it done, and he got in office and he's the one that got it done, I think he do deserve a little bit of credit for that. Because he made it happen. Like I've heard Captain say a couple of times, if I got a knife stuck in my back 8 inches. And you come out and I'm gonna go to our Captain as well. You pulled it out 2 or 3 inches. How much progress is that? But he got the whole thing passed. He got the whole thing passed. You know, 20 people, you know, pulled it out a half an inch or a centimeter or something like that. But the knife is still in my back. He came and pulled the knife out, man. Now, so that's just where I am with it. Captain, what's on your? I hope we can hear you better, Captain, because I know you got a lot to say right now on what we're talking about. But Captain, what's on your heart? Captain, you there? Oh, can't hear you, brother. I see you talking. I see your thing moving, but we can't hear you. Call in, Captain, now, 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Call in, Captain. That way we'll be able to hear everything that you're saying, and it'll come through a little clearer. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're talking about the situation with the Roe v. Wade being overturned, and the Republican Party and what they're trying to do. They've actually overturned the Roe versus Wade. You know they've been trying to overturn the Obamacare for a long time, and now it's being said that they're trying to go against same-sex marriages. Now, if they try to put that on the table, what is going to be the backlash from the LGBTQ community?
I mean, it should be. It don't even have to be a backlash with just the LGBTQ community. I mean, I have a grandson that's LGBTQ, and I dare anybody. I don't care if anybody in this line. I'll fight y'all over my grandson. I'm not judging him. Let God be the judge of him. If I agree or disagree, I wish somebody would come up against my grandson or try to do something like I will hurt somebody. I don't care who it is, because I believe whatever he has in his mind and his heart, he's a good kid. He don't bother nobody. It's his life. It's his decision, and that's just the way it is. Let every man be persuaded by his own mind. So all of those are so biblical and act like they know the word of God. Let him be, then let God judge him, not you.
Wow.
That's my position on it.
Okay. But do you think they'll get there'll be a great pushback from that community with them trying to take?
It's not, just like the abortion issue, it's going to be huge. There are huge pushbacks taking place right now around the country.
Yes.
So yes, but the thing is, how is it that one group is pushing so hard for those particular things? I'll put that on the table and leave it right there.
Wow.
How is it that one party is pushing so hard against those particular issues. And I'm like, somebody mentioned it earlier. It's more of them gay, the children gay, their mama gay, but yet they're coming against people for a political party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Wow.
believe if other people where they at and let God do the rest.
There you go. There you go. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. I tried to come to you earlier, since I couldn't get you. You must have been fighting at me.
Yeah, I was away.
Oh, okay.
I was away from. I'm trying to get ready for work, so I had to step off. And I was like, I'll catch that back around.
Got you. Good to have you, sister. And I'm asking a question. You know, the Roe versus Wade has already been overturned. They've already done that. It's been said that they're going out the next, the Obamacare, which they've been trying to fight forever. And they're also trying to overturn the same-sex marriages. Now, when that comes to the table and they try to overturn the same-sex marriages, what is going to be the pushback from the LGBTQ community, Toya?
Well, I can't say what will be the pushback, but I would think that, of course, that's all right. That two people in love feel like they should do.
Mm-hmm.
So, a portion of that, of what Cassandra is saying, I am with. If two people love each other, and we see they love each other, and a pastor is willing, because that's the next portion, then I think, we shouldn't discriminate against them just because they do something we think is different. Society kills me because it's like, oh, you can't be gay. Oh, well, say thou shalt not kill. Y'all kill black people all the time with no weapon. So, it's not about being godly. We know that. It's about control. But of course, there's going to be some lash because people want to try to do the best of their ability. The gay people believe in God too. Mm-hmm. They try to worship Him just as well as we do. Mm-hmm. So why would you keep them from getting married? Okay. The abortion thing I can kind of understand. Hey, go ahead. We're not going to be there with murder. But then now we need to talk about a couple of other issues when it comes to murdering others. We need to get rid of capital punishment as well. You know what I'm saying? So when we live and we grow as humans and we learn the error of our ways, sometimes we go back and change things we think we dropped the ball on. And unfortunately, America doesn't have they're not known for being 100% honest. So here we go again, looking for distraction of gay justice. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the gays can't get married. But no, let's talk about these real issues still with what's going on in the world for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So it's another distraction. Is it valid? Yeah. But some things we can let people make their own decisions. And I think murder is more important than having two people who love each other want to get married. Let them get married if they love each other. Now, if they want to get together, get married, and just kill folks, that's a no-go. But you can't label people like that. So I just think we need to be focused. I think that the people that the issues apply to them, they need to fight for those issues. They need help fighting for what's right. I'm with fighting for, hey, let them get married. But then there are other things that we need to be addressing. So I think that should go back to the marriage of gay people. Should go to the totem pole, bottom of the totem pole. And we need to focus on issues that has to do with making us healthy, making sure that we got gas around this guy, and making sure we find a way to crack down on violent crimes and murders.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Paul got some comments in his first comment he put up there. I can't read that one, Paul. I can't put that one on the screen. But he put another one up here. I'm gonna put this one up here.
I like that one he put up there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I can't.
You don't have to read it. I'll read it.
No, you don't. No.
That comment he made about straight people?
No.
Is that the one?
No. The one about Donald and Ivana. That's the one.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
No, we can't post that one. We can't post that one.
She died, didn't she?
Yeah, she died. Yeah.
She died this weekend.
Yeah.
I
So
believe.
we can't
last week.
Yeah, we can't post that one. Captain, good morning, sir.
Funny joke for us sick people, Paul. I get it.
Yeah. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How we sound now?
Oh man, excellent. We can hear everything you're saying. Good deal. Talk to me, brother.
Well, first I want to vote Bennett for president. We need to start that right now.
His background won't pass.
that, we could trust. One of the things about politics, you want to put somebody in office that is consistent and does not flip-flop.
Mm-hmm.
And some things, when we look at the political arena, there's a lot of flip-flop. You can't put no stock, at least I do, in the political arena. But I do want to say this, and I maybe it's one of them conspiracy theorists' mind, but what I'm seeing America is doing, she's taking away everything, get everything out the way to get to us. The next move after this is us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they're going to take away, what their plan, it may be segregation again. It may be segregation.
Mm-hmm.
You looking at America trying to get back what Donald Trump says, what she used to be great. Make America great again. We knew that was a coded language among us as a people, that America was great when we had everybody in check status.
Mm-hmm.
Black folks know their place, and they out of place. The Asians knew their place, and I wouldn't be surprised they come after the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're looking at is them getting America back to what they believe was great. So you're looking at it. So we talking about what you think about what they're getting ready to do with the gay community. When they grow, you better get ready. Because 3 or 4 months from now, we be in this conversation. What do you think about them trying to do segregation again? And white streets over here and black streets over here, and that they. What do you think? I thought this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Stevie Wonder can see the game plan. So they may come and get them in the daytime, but surely they got a plan to come and get us at night. So I think we're wise enough to see we can't close our eyes on the intent. Donald Trump was God's will. I don't care how you look at it. That man wasn't supposed to be president. He didn't believe he was going to be president. But why did God permit that man to be president? That's the question. If y'all say y'all believe in God, why did he permit it? Because we have fallen asleep about the sickness of the subtle. Racism is no more overt, it's covert. God brought it back into the light again. We were looking at covert racism, but now we need to see the overt racism. And look at this. Look at this, y'all. Oh my God. He's a demon. He needs to be hung from the highest gallows. Man, please. We need to be talking about stuff that's going to make us a stronger people. Let them do what they got to do. But if you can't, it ain't what somebody call you. It's what you answer to. I like what the sister say. I deal with relevant conversation. Stuff that I'm out there dealing with our young people killing each other. Give a damn about the political arena. Yeah, it does. To say, yeah, it does. But right now, man, they out there dying. They ain't got nobody, man, giving them the knowledge of themselves. I'm sorry, that was on my heart.
Good deal, good deal. Badger, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. It's another beautiful and blessed day we get to share together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look what you walked into, Badger. Look what you walked into, man. But
Yeah,
I want to ask you the question. Let me stop the time. I ain't gonna stop the time until you start talking. But what do you think about them trying to overturn? And some say the Republican Party, maybe it's all of them, but trying to overturn the same-sex marriages. What do you think the get back gonna be from that? The pushback, if you will.
I mean, what are they not going to end up trying to overturn? I mean, shoot, women are losing freedom of choice. Voting rules or regulations are getting kind of crazy depending on where you live. And now we get the same sex stuff again. So it's we're supposed to be learning from our past, right?
Yeah,
why are we letting it repeat?
Good question.
Why are we so separated that it's actually starting to succeed of repeating? Oh, hey, and I can get up on a soapbox on this morning. I don't know if y'all ready for that.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing well.
What's on your heart, sir?
I don't know what y'all talking about.
We talking about the Roe versus Wade already been passed. They overturned that. They're trying to, as they've been doing for years, try to overturn the Obamacare, and now they're trying to. It's been said that they're going to try and go back and pull back the same-sex marriage situation. So you can't get married to the same sex. What do you say about that?
Country is this?
It's supposed to be America.
Oh, well, when I was hearing, I think it was Captain talking, and the first song that rang in my head was "Freedom Over Me." Remember that one? Before I be a slave, be rested. I ain't gonna forget. In my grave.
Too late.
And go home with my Lord and be free. I'm not going to let nobody tell me what to do. Now, if you make some choices in your life, that's on you. You ain't got nothing to do with who a person want to sleep with, or who they want to stay with, or who they want to be friends with. We put our business out there for people to mess with. But if you have you have a relationship, whatever the kind of relationship it is, and you keep it within the confines of your household, nobody will never know. Everybody want to be public, and we're so public that we're out of hand and out of control. And it shows that we have no morals or values, and somebody wants to be a dictator. Because your business is out there, they want to dictate to your business. But if you just shut your mouth and just do you, nobody would really have a problem with it. That's just me. But I'd be doggone if you're gonna tell me anything about what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm not asking anybody, the government, mayor, the police department, anybody, about what I decide to do, especially if it's in the confines of my own home. Get out of my yard.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna mind my own business, and I'm gonna keep my life as private as I possibly can. If you got any problems with it, that's on you. Shut your mouth. And again, get out of here.
So Toussaint, basically,
But I ain't gonna. And go ahead.
Basically, Toussaint, you're gonna take 6 months to do what, and the other 6 months to do what?
Yeah, 6 months. I mind my business. Yeah, I leave everybody. I don't care who's sleeping with who. What they got to do with me? I mean, people put their business out there. That's why everybody know it. You want everybody to agree with you. I'm not looking for anybody to agree with me. I just do me. And because I keep my mouth shut about my business, and I keep my life as private as possible, there are some things that I share so that I can let some people know that, I'm trying to do this, accomplish this, and if I could help you in what I'm doing, then this is the avenue that we're going to help you with. But other than that, I bet you one thing, you don't know my marital status. Really, you don't know.
Yeah.
You didn't ask, so I didn't give you that information. And if you did, I'm gonna go around the question because it's not your business. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Start paying my bills? I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
So I'm listening.
Good morning, Swift. Good morning. Good to have you. Good to have you. We're going to transition over to our topic of the day. We've been on this right here long enough, but so if anybody have anything to want to say before we transition over to our topic for today, please say it now.
Hey, I want to make an
Mayor,
announcement.
Go ahead, Leonard.
Davis Bozeman, they were doing community conversations at one point, and now they're getting back up started with the Black Man Lab. And what that is, if you don't know who David Bozeman is, it's a law firm with Mawali Davis and Mr. Bozeman, just awesome attorneys in the African American community, and reaching out and mentoring young men. Today at 6:30 on Black Men Discuss, to be young Black men telling us what they need from the community. And it's going to be at the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA at 2220 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30311. And that's at 6:30 p.m. today. Raheem, I will shoot you that
yes, sir.
That bulletin, and you can put it out on your page.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ibrahim?
Can we watch that live?
I think I'm not sure if it's going to be recorded or not, but this is one that's in person. But I'm not sure if it's going to be recorded.
Okay.
If you know somebody go do a Facebook Live or anything, let me know.
Yes, sir.
I wish I could be a part of that.
Yes, sir.
Y'all gonna record?
I'll check it out and see if they have plans to broadcast live or what have you, and we'll put it out definitely on Raheem's page.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
Ibrahim?
Yeah. Oh, is this right? Well, we're talking about laws that were created, group opinion or fair opinion, right? So why is there a law for a marriage? I guess over everybody's head. Why you got to be a law for marriage, right? It shouldn't be a law for marriage, right? Why should there be a law for segregation or integration? They became law because segregation had kind of started was de facto law and became a law. So then we put other laws to fight segregation. I remember I have a son that his mother was Caucasian, and he asked me why, and I said because it was against the law in the state of Georgia in the 1970s, because we didn't pass a law that was still fought against and upheld until then. See, we have laws we didn't book instead of putting more laws to counteract the law, because then you got another law counteract that law. And that law, you know what I mean? So Roe versus Wade came as a law to prevent the assassination or killing. Now, we say that children are not children. Now, but another thing for Roe versus Wade, I think law should be taken off the book, and that should be a decision of the states and also the community. Right? A Jewish fellow said that in the Jewish law, life is not life until birth. And also later on in Leviticus, it says that in Talmud, right? It says that life. So then they have no problem with Roe versus Wade of taking the children, because they don't figure, when the breath, so to speak, as in when the child or we're given breath to speak, that's supposed to be like when we receive the word. So then we're arguing about things that have created by other people and religious beliefs, when at the same time we're creating the same house and product that we want to scream in holy hell, but at the same time we're creating the same problems. It'll cause different problems down the road, not based on the logic and that it dictates at this point. My thing is strict the laws of Roe versus Wade, right? Make that a thing of your religion, thing of your society or your state. You know what I mean? Strict that off the books. Strict same book as a legal process, not just same-sex marriage, that in the state cannot predicate who or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That law came about. These are recent laws that came about time. You know what I mean? And we forget all that. We start putting one party against social thought against another, and one superior thought against an inferior thought. When the fact of the matter is, addictions amongst ourselves, and down the road, our children will be passing laws to predicate or the laws. You see what I'm saying? So some laws should not be on the book. It's a social, I should be on the book because we are social beings and we living together in society. Irregardless, you should not dominate me over another and then talk about freedoms. You see what I'm saying? With freedom, that you have a right have the right.
Thank you. I'm coming to you, Lynn. It's kind of amazing to me how a lot of times everybody want to, and this is not geared toward anybody in particular, but society want to argue and make a point that they have an arguing point. Because a lot of times they say, well, you got all these people out here having all these babies. They ain't got no business having all these babies. They know good and well they can't provide for the babies, blah, blah, blah. They say that. And then on the other term, they say, well, you can't have no abortion. Abortion is illegal. It's illegal. You should not be able to have no abortion. It's amazing. What does one stand? But go ahead, Leonard.
Well, first of all, we have to clear some things up because people talk about Roe versus Wade like they get to make it up. You don't get to make it up. Mm-hmm. Go back and look at it. It was about violations of the First, Fourth, Fifth, 9th, and 14th amendments. Because a woman who wasn't even pregnant could not understand why it was necessary for the government to restrict her liberty and her right to privacy guaranteed by those amendments. Because she had a condition that if she were to become pregnant, it may not have turned out in her best favor. She could have died, things this, and she automatically felt like, one, this was the right of a woman, part of her privacy and her liberty for her to handle and make the decision. That's Roe versus Wade. It ain't got nothing to do with black people and all this kind of stuff people making up. It has to do with the government's attempt with violating the First, Fourth, Fifth, 9th, and the 14th Amendments as they relate to liberty and privacy. What the rest of y'all talking about?
Mm-hmm. Well, can I answer that? Answer that.
Real quickly, but Ibrahim. I'm gonna let you answer, but very quickly, brother, because I got a lot of people here. I can't just can't let y'all play tennis because I got everybody else just standing by watching the match, and it's not being fair to them. So give me your quick answer real quickly so I can move on.
It's law. Law is a product of society, right? And for that law, even the amendments have amendments. You understand? No, I hear people quoting amendments and everything, but amendments have amendments because law and it's social issues, right? And it was about that, but also it was about that people agreed to these laws or disagree with these laws. What had occurred? The sexual revolution. And if you take things out of context, then you don't have an understanding why these laws were created, why subjects, right? But these are the things that we had to consider when we deal with logic, and that's my particular feeling on that. But I'm ready to move to the next topic.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we move on? Okay.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to say this. This is my opinion. So I do not speak for the mindset, nor do I speak for the ideology of DKM Radio. I'm just going to say this. If we can't see or admit the hypocrisy in the known racist tactics, if we can't address those issues, I'm going to say that we are just as dumb as this telephone pole that I'm sitting in front of. At the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. It ain't no way around that, man. If we can't see that there is a consistent push to put women back in the kitchen, to put women barefoot and back in the kitchen, then we are just as dumb as this telephone pole that I'm looking at. We talk about Roe versus Wade. We talking about abortion. Why are we talking about that? The women no disrespect to my sisters, but we done forgot all about equal pay for equal work. We done forgot all about, hold on now, you want to stop abortion, but while all at the same time, you passed a law to deny women the 12 weeks after they had a baby. So can somebody please explain to me?
He coming here. Right here we go.
You can tell a woman she can't do this and then pass something that completely contradicts her rights. You telling her she can't do this. Oh, not only can you not have an abortion if you need one, but you can't take 12 weeks off after you had a baby. We need you back to work in 6 weeks. Oh, but we're not going to talk about the wealth gap, or we're not going to talk about equal pay for equal work for you. Nah. We're going to deny you that. We still going to pay you $1.63 less than what we will pay a man. We ain't going to talk about that. And if we got some nurses on this phone, they will tell you, a nurse will admit to you face to face that if you're a male nurse, you make way more money than a female nurse makes. And you may be dumb as this light pole, this telephone pole that I'm sitting in front of.
Good deal. We got to move on. Somebody else wanted to say something real quickly.
Please go agree Roe versus Wade, because even I make mistakes. I think the lady's name was Jane Roe, and there were these other cases associated with this particular attack on women's rights and violating those other amendments, and they thought that this was unconstitutional, which is why the fight came about. It's for the unconstitutionally on how it imposed on women to take away their liberties and their privacy. And Roe versus Wade was just one case, was one of the first cases, but there were other cases added to this that asked the same question. Like my man Kurt just brought up, don't be hypocritical. We know what the deal is. We see what they're doing. Like you said, you can have the baby, but now we gonna judge how long you need to stay home with your baby, take care of your baby. Matter of fact, we ain't gonna even give you no milk and all that, none of that type of stuff for you, baby. We're gonna make it harder for you to get this, that, and housing for you, baby. Come on, man. We're gonna do all that wrong when we can just do one good thing.
Jane Roe versus Henry Wade.
Yeah, well, I believe Wade was district attorney.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, okay, he was the district attorney. This was a Texas case, I believe.
But let's move this thing on. Let's move this thing on. No, we got. Yes, yes. Got to move it on, man.
One more thing out there. It's not a long discussion. Not a long discussion at all.
Give you 1 minute, Curtis.
I want to clear the record on something. I want to clear the record on something because I hear people talking about Obamacare, right? And here's the hypocrisy. Obamacare was never Obamacare. Obamacare was Romney Care. Romney Care switched to Hillary Care, and then they made it Obamacare. Obamacare was Romney Care and Hillary Care put together.
Yeah.
So
we said that earlier. Yeah, we said it earlier.
You got Republicans that won't even mention the fact that the first person to actually accomplish that feat was Mitt Romney, a Republican in a Democratic district.
Good deal.
So let's clear the record because they throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying they throw it out there like it was all Obama. And I agree with you. If 100 people tried to get it and none of them got approved, he gets some credit for getting it.
Exactly.
But let's just be honest and throw it out there.
Good deal. Got to keep it moving. I'm going to go to Cassandra. Cassandra?
Yes. Yes, sir.
We're going to change. We're going to change that and go to the topic of the day. And I'm going to ask you a question. And the answers are very personal answers because nobody know. But Cassandra, who is it, or what situation in your life that taught you respect? I put a doozy out there, huh?
Wow. Yeah. Maybe I'll answer that a little later after I hear what some people, what the people say, because you said what person?
You know, what's person or who, let's just say who taught you respect and the whole concept and the whole ideology of respect and what respect is. Who taught you that?
No, I'm gonna let somebody else go with that because I've never had good role models or people around me from a kid, so I wouldn't. That ain't a good one for me. I'm gonna wait and listen to hear some of the answers that people put up before I say anything.
Cassandra say, "Don't come to me first with something like that. Don't come to me first."
No.
But I know where I could turn to though. Toussaint. Respect, brother. Who taught you respect? Who taught you the whole concept of respect and what respect was? Who taught you that, Toussaint?
Oh, my parents did. Let's know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they taught it well. You know, I mean, you know, grandparents. We're a tight knit family.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember us going to what we called old mom and old dad. That was my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma and grandpa. That was my other grandparents. And we just had a level of communication. You would say, "Yes, sir," "No, sir," "No, ma'am," "Yes, ma'am," whatever it was. "Thank you," "Appreciate you,"
Mm-hmm.
"Gratitude," "Sit up straight," "Make your words clear," stuff like that. So I would say it's simple. It was my parents. No doubt about it.
Okay, that's good. That's
the
good.
whole community, really. They're a little bit about it because even the lady down the street, they would make sure that you would respect them too.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to Captain. Respect. Who taught you respect and the whole element of respect and what respect was?
Well, to be honest, I was 18. I'm 68 years old now, but I was 18 when I joined the nation. I was a young man out there that had no respect for nobody, even myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think my parents did, but that's not true. I came out of home, and my father was a very abusive man to my mother. So if I seen my father beating my mother, that was not no role model for me to learn respect. The nation taught me. I learned to respect myself. And once I learned something about myself, that taught me to respect others. But the first beginning of respect was me to respect myself. And as I learned to respect myself, that put me on the road to respect others. So it was the training I got in the Nation of Islam that taught me. I was a young thug. I was a juvenile delinquent. I was constantly in and out of juvenile detention centers. And I got 18 years old and I was brought up on some charges of check fraud. I was 18 or 17 when I did it. But when I went to court, I turned 18 and the judge said, "Well, young man, you're no longer juvenile. So we're going to give you a little taste of what adults are put in jail." So he took and put me in the first time I was ever been charged with adult. They put me in the county jail. And I walked up in that thing and looked like a zoo. But it was a great deterrent because I ain't been in jail since. But nevertheless, I learned my respect in the nation. And it taught me to respect myself. So self-respect is what gives you to respect others. If you don't respect yourself, you definitely ain't going to respect others.
Absolutely.
So that's where I learned my respect from, dear brother.
Good deal. Good deal. Mr. Hicks, talk to me about respect.
Yes, sir. I was thinking, I guess it was two sources. My mother was an evangelist, and even though I didn't understand her until I grew up some, I watched her as we traveled from the north going south every summer when she went on her evangelist ministries, and I watched how people responded to her. We walk in the store and be that old racist glare initially. My mother would say a few words, conversation, and everything would change.
Mm-hmm.
She respected people, and she really, really practiced at treating others. And I was taught that doing unto others as they would do unto you, but the streets taught me that you better get that rascal first. And and then I joined the nation. When I joined the nation, it was when I really, really, really began to study. It sparked the interest to learn history and to learn the human mind, the body, how to live, the value of being disciplined is the practice of a ritual of salat, of prayer. I think that I got it most from my mother though.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I didn't appreciate it when she was here. I mean, right at the end we started talking. I couldn't get with this loving everybody thing.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get with I just couldn't understand how to ignore what I saw going on around me. But now I'm 73 and I've been around a while and I've learned some things that you only could get back from life what you put out.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wondered why do certain things happen to other people that don't happen to other people? And how in the midst of a drought, some people can prosper and other ones are not. And I came down to a conclusion after doing that time was that we have more control of our experiences than we think we have, by our attitudes, by our thoughts, and what we reject, and how's that word? How we love.
Mm-hmm.
But I got it from my mother, and I appreciate her, and she was the source. But I can't deny the impact of Elijah Muhammad on my life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Badger, respect.
I learned a little bit from my grandma and stuff. Well, I learned a lot about respect by watching those that weren't respectful to others.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned the negative things and teachings in my life into something positive by teaching myself not to be like those that were around me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because respecting somebody is really important,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Learning to accept that, you know, people are different. People come from different backgrounds, different experiences, and things like that. And you know, when you watch people belittle others or judge others and all kinds of things, for me, I just decided not to be like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
It was my parents that taught me respect.
Mm-hmm.
And also combined with teachings of Christianity. That's where all my upbringing, my parents taught me those things. And I'm still like that today. I try to respect everybody everywhere I go. Anybody that has ever met me or whatever that has spent any time with me, no, that's one of my core principles
Mm-hmm.
is respecting other people. I always go in with that. Like people have a habit of just saying things out of habit. No, I really come in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want it to be something else, it can happen.
Transition quick.
But I'm not trying to disrespect people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how I get down. I try to treat others as I want to be treated. I want to be respected, so I treat people with respect.
Mm-hmm. What's the time frame, Leonard, between 8 and 80?
A long time to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what people get out of. Some people are just I don't know. Like I like the way Miss Cassandra said it. Go on by because I got to think about it because she didn't have people around her that taught her that. Now, see, me, a person would think, wow, nobody?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like one person that was good that would teach you, treat others as you would want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad to me. So I want to make sure that children are being taught respect because maybe that has contributed to where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were not taught respect as children. It's a lifelong lesson, especially when you have these compelling emotions and other things that you go through daily with life as you grow up. Things happen.
Yes.
That may cause you to disrespect others for maybe the wrong reasons. So I think if we teach it to children, then they would carry that on later in life and help steer and guide them.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of that, I think, is why we're at where we're at today. Is see, when you turn your back on God, then what are your children going to be like?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to teach them one of those concepts of religion.
Exactly. Let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, who taught you respect and what it was, what it represented, what it meant? Who taught you that, Ibrahim?
Well, I would say that my mother, she taught me respect and about our people, and in real life, through work and my mother died when I was young, but in real life, my father in the action of respect. Number one, respect is giving everybody. My dad used to say that if a person was seen to be humble or less than you, you know, because circumstances, you know, and also in life taught me about your what you are is what you make. Your mind, you can be free, prison in your body, your physical location. But my dad, the inner workings of that in real life, how respect is, because you had to command respect, number one. And if a person don't know who you are and what's around you, then you not have to afford a person respect because because they're allowed to exist. You know, I don't have no respect for anybody that does or my ideas and concepts and beliefs, or either you know. And we have a discussion about that. But at the same time, and the Quran speaks back, and some of the Nation Islam brothers might remember this, but it said it came to the prophets trying to speak to him, but yet he pushed them aside and ignored him because he was trying to speak. So these tribes and these governors and stuff like that who were they were just there for argument's sake and to debate, right? And but he said that he turned his say what is Allah? And he said Allah is God. Allah, you know. And so he said, well, there's your believer. You turn your back on belief. You know, the Prophet Muhammad was chastised. May peace and blessing be upon him. Ignoring this humble man that had pure belief, right? So that's how I try to look at life. But respect is a two-way street. If then you know you can forget, you forget. I don't care if you're vicious or grant you respect.
30 seconds.
If you're not vicious toward me, but if you don't respect the way of looking at life, there's other products. I have no respect.
Good deal. Cassandra, coming back to your sister, I know you say you wanted to hear a few things. Coming back to you, what's on your heart?
Yeah, you know, I love, you know, where people are coming from with this, you know, their parents, you know, teaching them respect. And, you know, people say I'm too transparent sometimes, but I don't really care because, you know, this is how I help people to understand, you know, life and what happens in life. My grandmother raised me. My mother died when I was 12. And my mother, she went to church. She was in church every Sunday, had us in church every Sunday. But she had affairs with married men. So I didn't respect that. I knew some of the men that she, you know, was messing with. I knew their children. And to me, that was totally disrespectful for her to do that. I'm not saying she was a bad person, but what she did, it did not sit right with me, even as a child when I would see it. And she died, like I said, she was 29 when she died, and I was 12. My grandmother, who took us in, she had an affair with a married man, a preacher, for 26 years. And sat in the same pulpit.
Wow.
He taught in a choir, you know, sat in a choir with this man's wife for years. So see, I'm just saying, and my father was never around. So I didn't have a human being that taught me respect, because the people that should have been teaching me that, they did not represent what respect was to me, even as a child. And I thank Kat for talking about, you know, and someone else mentioned their religion. You said who, not you know what, like your religion, because God, once I found God, well, I found him because he was there, but I learned respect for everybody and everything at 21 when I changed to Christ, and I'm 63 now. So, you know, I'm going to leave it there, but I didn't have a human being that taught me that, y'all. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Not somebody that should have been teaching me how to respect myself and respect others.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Wow. Wow. And I didn't know how deep this was going to go, man, but this is powerful. Paul, who taught you respect, brother?
That's a really good question. I think my family story is similar to Cassandra's. People in my family had similar problems with boundaries and stuff in the church. So I think it's a common story. I guess what I learned about respect is that some of the ways I was taught respect was faulty. Like, you know, people say it's a two-way street, but I think where I'm at right now, I've come to the realization that I have to give people the benefit of the doubt, even if they're not giving me respect. I'm going to keep giving it because I think that's the right thing. Some people call it the Christian thing or the, you know, Islamic thing or whatever the code is. I'm not religious. My code is just be better than the person who's disrespecting me. And hopefully they'll rise to my level, and I need to be humble up to a point. Obviously there's a point where it's like, okay, no, you cross the line. You know, we're no longer, you have to change the rules of this interaction. But yeah, some of the things I was taught when I was younger were wrong, that, you know, I'm the authority here and you must listen to me. And there's so many cases in my family, and I've heard it on the show, abusive people, and they use that word respect to justify their abuse. And sometimes it's religious people, not necessarily, but people often use the word of God to justify their abuse. So who taught me? Every day. I learn it every day. I learn it by listening to the show, what's respectful, by my interactions at work, by my interactions with my students, by, you know, I hear Rico, he always mentions like how much he respects nature. And I love that. Like, that's how I think that's like a big part of it for me, you know, is just trying to find it everywhere.
Exactly. That's good. Let me go to Kurt. Kurt, what did you say to that, brother? Who taught you respect?
My grandmas, my 16 uncles, my 10 aunts, my hood, life itself, man. It ain't no specific person. You know what I mean? Life itself. Grandma used to always say, money, manners will get you further than money any day of the week, baby. And she was right. You know what I mean? Just being a mannerable young man, that thing saved me from going to prison, man. State of Maryland was trying to give me 5 suspended sentence, no parole. Because I had manners in front of that judge. That judge said, you know what? She looked at the DA, said, you know what? It's obvious. This boy ain't no thug right here. You know, he was just trying to protect his family, this, that, and the third. Is there anything the state can do? Because I don't want to send this young man to jail. You know, man, my family, man, my hood, even down to, you know, when I was in the street, there was a certain code about certain things, man, that you just didn't. You respected that. You respected the fact that, hey, hold on, I got my feet in the street. And the rules that governing the folks that's out here, although they might be slightly different. I remember a time when the rules the rules for the street realistically wasn't no different from the rules in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and you was pushing pebbles. You know, when Miss Blackwell hit the block, oh, shop closed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's help Miss Blackwell get the house. You know, one of the elders walk up on you and you doing something wrong. Let's stop. Oh, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know, just a basic respect for life.
Yeah.
Like I remember a time when if a dude got killed in my neighborhood, everybody knew the reason why he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew that he did something or whatever. Now, you know what I mean? A fight, yeah, that's one thing. But to take someone's life, it was a lot more serious than we arguing over a football game.
Exactly.
Or
Wow.
I doing you or something like that. So, you know, I'm not going to charge one specific person to my learnings of that. That was my family.
Exactly. Yeah,
my
that's
friend.
good. That's good.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Let me go to we got a few people. We got Willa. We got a few people that just came in. I'm going in circles to make sure I touch everybody. But Willa, you was next on the docket here, Willa, and we asking the question. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning, Claude. Good morning.
Man, we asking the question, Willa, who taught you respect and how to respect other people?
Well, I'm going to say it was just a combination of so many people, but you didn't understand or know that it was called respect until you got older. And until you get older,
yes,
you don't know that that's what they were actually teaching you. You know, because I be listening to everybody on the line before I, cut my phone, before I call in. And I just want to get my thoughts right because I look back on my life and I saw that, when I really understood, I knew some examples, but I didn't know what it was. And I'm going to say I actually learned that from church because I told you I'm a PK. I was a PK child. And from a teacher, her name was Miss Gully. Now, she was a main source in my life, besides my grandmother. But Miss Gully was she was not only an awesome teacher, but she also was a mother, and she was trying to be a mentor to the ladies that was in her class. So she started teaching us respect by respecting ourselves. And that's what she called it respect. Taught us by taking us out to dinner, showing us how young men are supposed to teach you.
Yes.
My mother didn't do those things, and especially my father. He was too involved in the church in the beginning.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give that honor to my teacher. She was awesome, And as I got older, Raheem, I really started to learn what respect is. Respecting other people's opinion, respecting that your opinion is not the only opinion. And, I just learned so much about respect that it adds more and more to my life. And that's what's on my heart right now, Raheem.
Good deal. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm just thankful to be here for another beautiful day, man. The chance to experience this thing called life again. What's going on with y'all?
Sir. Yes, sir. Hey, doing good, man. We asking the question, Rico, who taught you, and this is an individual answer for everybody, but who taught you respect and what respect was?
When you put it in those terms, it was nobody but my grandmother. And like Miss Willa just said, I had a teacher named Miss Joshua, a sixth grade teacher. She had the respect of the entire school. I mean, she had more respect than the principal. And when you finally got to the sixth grade, or even before then, she would ask you your name. And when you tell her your name, she's like, no, I want your whole name. You tell her your whole name. And from that point forward, she would call you Mr. or Mrs. that last night. If she had to deal with you in the first, second, or third grade, because she was the one that had to do the discipline. And so she was over the school patrol. I mean, she just had everybody on point. Some people thought she was mean, but I loved her. But that's the way she would refer to us. Mr. and Mr. Jackson. Did you do your work today, Mr. Jackson? She gave us all kind of responsibility and accountability, and we had to respond to each other in the same way. So I think about that when Willa said that, and then my grandmother. See, that my grandmother, man, she showed me not only how to respect, but what respect was. So you said something key in it. What respect is something that has to be reciprocated. It has to be pure. I was taught respect by my father and my mother, but at the same time, their actions didn't speak the same as loud as their words. So it didn't have an effect. My stepfather, I was taught respect by him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even call my grandmother grandmama. I was calling my grandmothers and my grandfathers and my parents by their first names. I wasn't calling them grandmama and granddaddy, mama and dad. I was calling them by their names. And they didn't say nothing about it because my mom called her mom by her name till the day she passed. And they called their dad by their name. So my stepdad came in and said, no, you don't do that. That's your grandmother. That's your daddy. That's your mama. And he taught me how to do that, even though it was hard to break that because I wasn't used to that. But, you know, he taught me, but he was still my abuser. You get what I'm saying? He physically abused me. So it still stuck with me, but it still didn't affect me the way that it did with my grandmother. See, my grandmother, she taught me how respect was reciprocated. Not only did she show me respect, but she respected me. She showed me examples of how it was done. And she really showed me with my grandfather, her husband, because my grandfather, man, he could be a real bad drunk sometimes. And from what I understand, they went through a lot of years of this before I even came along. And I witnessed it. And I saw that the children could treat him like a pariah sometimes. And even when he was sober, they would still hold it against him. But me, I didn't look at it like that. And I know my grandmother didn't look at it like that either. Now, she didn't like it at the time it was going on, and I didn't either. But when he was in his regular way, she respected him like she was supposed to. And so I did too. But the rest of them, they didn't. My aunts, my dad, they still had an issue with him. You know what I'm saying? It was very fragile relationship, and they still traumatized by the stuff that they went through. But I looked at it as him being sick. I remember her saying, you know, your granddad is sick this weekend. You can't come down here. And I knew what she was talking about because I used to want to go and stay the weekends with them every weekend. Granddad is sick this weekend.
Yeah.
I knew how to put that together. But the rest of them, he drunk. They just, you know what I'm saying? They were clowning, they would fuss back at him. So she rarely even fussed back with him. She knew how to respond to him when he was drunk. And she also knew some of the reasons why he drank like that. He was in my situation. He had his oldest children kidnapped and taken to California, and he had custody.
Wow.
And he never got to see him again. So he dealt with that, along with the fact that he raised himself and was raised from house to house like I was. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I was respecting him because that was my future, but she taught me to respect him when the others didn't, you know. But I was listening to Leonard's response when Cassandra said that. And you know, that says a lot, because when it shocks him to see that there was nobody in her life to teach her respect, it didn't shock me. That is a very real reality for a good number of children. I mean, it's hard for us to comprehend that some children have nobody to teach them respect.
Absolutely.
But the reality is that there are plenty of children that don't. I mean, I think I brought up about 2 or 3 months ago with that house fire where the 15-year-old set the house on fire accidentally and killed his little sister. Just think about the home training and just the natural basic necessities of living and respect and responsibility. He didn't know at 15. That's a lot of lack. Think about all the foster children that nobody in their family cared enough about them. Nobody in their family said, hey, you can come live with me while your mama going through this or your daddy going through. Nobody in your family said you can come live with them.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a lot of that. Not only is that a lot of neglect and nurture that's not in the home, but imagine the lack of respect that they're being taught.
Exactly. Captain, talk to me.
Well, I'm glad to hear your voice, Rico. I thought you was out to mix today, but it's good. It's good. It's good. You know, dear brother, I was thinking I have to give a shout out to the late great Aretha Franklin. I came up in that era when she had the song Respect. Now, I may not know about it, but I still know how to spell it now. But most certainly, we have to understand what everybody's saying, and it is personal. It is personal. Who had the influence on you that taught you respect? I wish I would have had came up in a home. I really would. My mother and father wound up converting to Islam years later. I got them to become Muslims, and they began the last years of their life in Islam. But prior to that, my father was very abusive, and sad as it may be that he had molested a couple of my sisters. So I could never look to him for no respect. My mother, as beautiful as woman, a lot of my sisters kind of felt that she knew about it, and how you not know that your husband is doing this. So it was a real torment. I didn't like staying at home. There was too much madness. So I ran the streets. The streets was my home. I mean, it was my home. I was not a guy that liked the home life. There were certain principles I took, but the respect, as my brother said, I ain't trying to say that it comes from the street, but many people have influence. There was a brother that was a coach. When I went to reform school, I was sent to reform school. His name was Mr. Moore. And he worked at the reform school up there, and I would have all dominant whites over it, but he was the first black. And he kind of taught me a little respect. But I think it was a good opportunity for all of us to tell you. But as I like what Brother Leonard said, and I heard the minister say this, he said the best religion is the religion to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't go wrong with that. You really, really, really can't go wrong with that. And I try to live my life with that principle. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I am not a person that would disrespect anyone based upon their color, their religion, their gender, their politics. I'm not that one. And if I do, I am man enough. I am man enough to say I'm sorry.
Yes.
Many of us can insult another human being and never say you're sorry. Never can you admit you was wrong, even to your children sometimes. When we can be man and women enough that you made a mistake, say you made a mistake.
Yes.
Stop trying to justify it and cover it up. That's not respect. Respect is when you make an insult to somebody and they tell you, brother, you just insulted me. I'm not going to say, well, brother, you don't understand. See, but if I insult you, please forgive me. I'm not going to try to justify it.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of this family is that we have a respect for each other.
Exactly.
And even though we may disagree, there is a level of respect that I have for every one of you on here. And I'm not trying to blow sunshine up your backside. This is the God truth. God did not make my mouth to speak idle words. And I've learned that, to respect the brilliance of the human beings that you didn't have nothing to do with. God created everybody on this line. God put everybody in certain situations to bring out the best in them and also the worst in them. Now look at us. We're seasoned right now.
Yes.
We're in the evening of our lives. We're in the twilight of our lives. We ain't got no reason to lie. How you get to be 70-something years old, you're a liar. 60 years old, you're a liar. And we was kids, we may be lying. But when you're a grown person, then you don't lie.
No.
Lie only means that you don't want to deal with the consequences of the truth.
Exactly.
Who in here don't want to deal with the consequences of the truth? So I thank you so much. Y'all know I got that preaching in me. I get fired if I don't mean no harm.
Yes, sir.
God knows I don't mean harm. Thank you for this, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go to Navy. Navy, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, we doing good, doing good. Sister, I need to ask you a question. Who taught you respect and what it means and the whole element and the whole thing surrounding respect, what it represents and everything? Who taught you that?
Good question. I don't think I could just credit just one event. Of course, it would have to start with core values. I was raised by my grandmother, and that was something that you was definitely, whether that was out of sheer fear or because she had instilled in games. And then I think, other than just my funeral, because I think for me, I can be woman enough to say that there were like that just because of who I was or who I thought I was, you should have respected me, but that didn't necessarily do. And life has a way of chopping you in your throat from time to time to teach you.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
life had to chop me in the throat a few times to teach me that way street, and it's something that isn't automatically given to you. It's something you have to earn. But I think that our arrogance sometimes, just as humans, feel like, well, you should know who I am, so you should automatically respect me. But that's a two-way street. So yeah, a little bit of everyone had that influence on my viewpoint and for respect and to give respect.
That's good. That's good. Toussaint, let me ask you this question. Toussaint, you with us?
Yeah.
Toussaint, and this is not a question. It's not personal. This part here is not personal. I'm asking as a whole. And as a whole, Toussaint, do you think most people want to be respected or feared?
Respected with the ingredients of fear. Because we're selfish. We make life about us.
Okay.
And it's kind of almost in this society, and it's just me, that we want to have a kind of so great of an influence on people that sure enough it's respect that they want, but it's like you gotta respect me. You better respect me. Or if you don't, then there are consequences for you not to. It's no longer earned like it should be, because it's a give and take thing, really. Respect is. That's just me. If you respect me, I'm going to respect you. But in this society, it's like, and I don't want to pick out no particular group because that would be a lack of respect. But there are some people that they just feel like you got to agree with them.
Yeah.
Don't respect me. Almost acceptance, or you're a hater, or you are prejudiced towards me, or something to that degree. But it's just like, okay, here's where I am, and it's just like what I think was said just now. We all different. I think that we're learning how to honor and respect each other without putting a threat out there that if you don't, then I'm gonna show my tail. I almost said something, but because Cassandra would help me with that.
And Cassandra, we just lost Cassandra. Cassandra, if you're available, call back in. I don't know whether disconnected or on or what happened, but if you're available, call back in. Let me go to Leonard. Let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Street terminology, street life. Do you think an individual on the street, thugging, if you will, doing the things that they do on the streets, want to be respected or feared?
It just depends on the person. You know, one thing about being feared that I don't like, and the first time it happened with me, it's in the street, of course. And I was messing around, and whatever, it just occurred to me to make somebody get on their knees with a pistol in my hand, okay? And I was very young. I was around 12 or 13. And my cousin showed this as an exercise to me on how to get people to do what you want them to do. I did not like that look in that person's eyes. I didn't care for it. Respect me. You don't have to be scared of me. Respect me. I can put fear in you, but I don't care for it. I would prefer you respect me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you fear me, I'm no different than a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you know, that experience to me at such an early age, because the person was not deserving of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the control that you take in the street. You know, I didn't care for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more on that side of respect than fear. And like, say, for instance, your relationship with God, and that's the word is used quite frequently. Fear the Lord, fear, 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 fear. And I think that sometimes we get that, I think, mixed up a little bit with respect.
Mm-hmm.
Respect the Lord your God.
Yes. Yes.
They say fear, but respect, I think, is better because God does not want me to be scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that. He has all power. There's no need to make me scared to do whatever you want to do. But to fear something could make you act different ways that will be ungodly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think about it. There are people that I told, and I just came across this weekend with a conversation with somebody. Don't tell somebody else our key.
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
keep it. If you tell somebody, I'm gonna kill your mama and your dad.
Good Lord.
And it came about when child with abuse, because it was a situation. And it came about because of the talk of abuse
Mm-hmm.
and what that does to a person. And you know how I think I said on this show before, and you said, what can we do to stop and try to stop this? Tell you what, the best thing in the world is facts and evidence. So I do believe that if you know that someone is molesting or abusing you, keep your little knife or something with you up
Mm-hmm.
under your pillow or something. Because what you cannot say did not happen is if you walked in on a man stabbed with his pants down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody just, how did you get above that person? How that little child stab you in your face like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
you can't lie about that. You can
Mm-hmm.
try, but the evidence that it provides. And sometimes we have to get past fear because fear keeps us from doing what is right.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what do you say to that, man? Do you think a person in general, do you think a person would rather be respected or feared? Mr. Hicks? Mr. Hicks may have stepped away from his phone there for a second. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I believe it's if a person
Hey,
is oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Mr. Hicks.
I apologize. I had my phone in my pocket, couldn't get to it. But
yes, sir.
I think it depends on the world you're living in, the world that the situation you put yourself in. Ideally, respect is always the best preference.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain situations where your adversary or your enemy gotta know that you're capable and that you're willing. And I think that it's all these little micro moves you make that set you up for having to react out of producing, creating fear. And everybody experiences fear at some level, but I think that giving respect. Someone talked earlier. They talked about this kind of thing of even if a person disrespected them, they would still respect the person. And I know that's a hard bitter pill, but in essence, that is the teaching. When you go back, is laced in all the kind of that you don't return evil for evil, and and that you fight evil with good. But I prefer respect. But I got to be honest. With me, there's a bottom line. If you ain't gonna respect me straight, I'm gonna prefer you to fear me then.
Wow. And actually a lot of people have that mindset, man, and that's just where they are. and ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just who they are at that particular time. And like I say, what chapter are you in your life? Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I think like what Hicks just said, you can be in situations where that is necessary. Like in prison. In prison, you might need to put the fear in people so they can respect you, because respect could be looked at as a weakness. Or what I'm saying? Sometimes respect comes with kind. So in some ways, you go into an atmosphere, you have to show different ways to get respect. A lot of people join a nation when they go to prison because for some reason the nation has respect. They don't have to deal with the regular ins and outs of prison life compared to other people. That they have a way of life in there. They say what goes on in prison stays in prison. It's worse than Vegas. It ain't the same as Vegas, believe that. So in some situations, you might go in there a very humble man and come out a different type of monster. At the same time, you still knowing that you have a very respectful way about yourself, but then you might have an extreme side of you that has to show people that they need to fear you. So I'm like Leonard, man. I prefer respect. I don't like for people to fear me. I've been told different jobs that I went to, I had different people come up to me and say, man, you intimidate white people. And I'm like, why? They said, because you don't joke around with them. So they don't know how to approach you. And see, sometimes you get comfortable with people and they'll disrespect you with little jokes, little conversations that shouldn't be had. And so, I might be that way, but I'm like that with everybody. I'm pretty much the type of person that I respect you, you respect me. But like Paul said earlier, I had to accept the fact that some people wouldn't talk respect. So as I maneuver in this world, I understand that I have to learn how a person is to understand if they respect me or not. Now I'm going to give you respect. I'm going to speak to you and this and that. But at the same time, I'm going to be limited in how much of respect I give you.
Yeah.
Because some people might look at that as a sign of weakness.
Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I was just sitting here listening and thinking, talking about respect versus fear and things like that. And it seems like there are times respect has a spectrum, depending on the person, depending on who's using the word respect. That's one of the things I was thinking about, because there are people that will say, you don't respect me unless you think a certain way or act a certain way. And I was sitting here wondering, is that really respect? And that's kind of what I'm pondering. Like what really is respect, and what is when it's used in a way like that.
Wow. Okay, that's good. And that's a heck of a question. Willa, what's on your heart?
Hey, Raheem. It's just two things. I was listening. I want to address real quick. The scripture says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, and it's not talking about for us to be afraid, like we're shivering to be near Him or anything like that. It's just saying that the knowledge, when you understand about what God is saying, that be so lovable and honorable that you would be afraid to sin, knowing that the consequences that are coming with your sin. So that's all that means. Okay. Now, you talked about the street. I was looking at this movie called Bronx Tale. And Colujo asked the head man, he said, is it better to be feared or to be respected? And he said fear. He said fear. But at the end of the movie, Colujo understood that it wasn't fear, that is the respect that a man should have for another man, because of the fact that when you fear somebody, that means that they got an opportunity to also get courage sometime in their lives. I always believe that to respect someone is the better way to go. But somebody in the street believes that when somebody fears them, that gives them power over another individual. And that's why the street, they believe that if you're afraid of me, you're scared of me, they're calling you a coward, that you always got control of them. And that's not true. Because one day somebody might get some courage that feared you. So that's what I want to say right now. I just want to do my 3 minutes to be respectful.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely
To be
appreciate.
respectful.
There you go. There you go. I definitely appreciate you, Cassandra. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I think that because of the way I was raised, the abusive way I was raised, fear was the way that was taught the respect, and I think I took that with my children, like, you're gonna fear me, blah 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 blah. And Toya talks about it a lot. We've done it wrong, and we've seen it wrong for so long that that's what we did, and we carried it down. We keep taking it down, to the next generation. And I try to veer away from that with my grandchildren. I teach them through how I guide them through being respectful of people. And all of my grandboys in their 20s, I don't care who they talking to, adults. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the way. I don't want to see people deal with me or respect me out of fear. My siblings did that as well because I was the oldest. And if anything went wrong, I was the one that was going to be beaten. So guess what? I will hurt you if you do anything to make me get in trouble and get abused.
Exactly.
So they feared me. So I don't want that. And I've since, as an adult, apologized to all of my siblings for how hard I was on them. But I explained to them that I got tired being beaten for things that were taking place. So I don't want people to fear that kind of respect. I don't want it like that.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Kurt, I'm gonna go a different angle with you. Kurt, are you there? Kurt, are you there?
Been here. Been here, brother.
Kurt, have you ever seen the show Spencer for Hire?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, Ryan.
Oh, okay. Do you remember the character Hawk?
The character who?
The character that played Hawk.
No, I can't say that I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna use him as an example and ask the question: was he respected or feared? But what's on your heart, though, brother? Talk to me.
Well, I mean, just right off the muscle, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned in the street was don't ever want nobody to fear you, because scared people kill people. You know, a man who's scared of you, in his mind, he may automatically think that you walking up to him to do him harm. And he may automatically go on and do you harm before you get him. It's like backing a rat in a corner. You know, they tell you, you got a rat in your house, you trying to get it out. Never back it into a corner. Back into a corner, the rat only has but one option, which is to jump at your throat, because he's trying to survive. So, what time I spent in the street, I always was taught, man, don't have a bunch of people out here scared of you, man. You don't know where that comes from.
Yep.
Somebody famous recently died. I can't remember who it was. And one of the talks was, Alpo, got murdered. And I heard one of the dudes say, look, man, just to keep it real with you, there was people who were scared of him, man. There was people who he wronged. So can't nobody really tell you where that bullet came from or who sent that order. because it was scared of Alpo or that he wrong, that, man, you don't know where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When it come down to this topic right here, man, I just stay in my lane. My family always taught me, Kurt, if you stay in your lane, you ain't got to worry about hitting nobody in another lane.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to hit nobody if they decide to come over into your lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I stay out the way, man. This ain't a world that I realistically want to partake in at that level. That's, somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, they had seen that, that I do a lot of acting and stuff like that. And they was like, well, I can't wait, boy. When you get famous, boy, we gonna hit the club. Nah. My man looked at him and told him, no, bro, I don't think you're gonna get that out of Kurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't listen, man. I don't like to put myself around chaos. My family taught me that. You surround yourself with chaos, you will be a part of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My grandma used to say, how she used to put that thing.
Gotta wrap it up from Curtis.
I'll leave it right there, man.
No. You ain't gonna just say she used to tell you and have this quote. You ain't gonna tell the people what the quote is, man. How you gonna do something like that?
She used to say, be careful when you in the midst of people who claim to admire you, because their admiration will turn to envy. Their envy will turn to jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Their jealousy will turn, their hate will turn to chaos. And inevitably that chaos will breed nothing but destruction.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good.
So I fight with that. So, first chance I see where, like, I like sometimes when people say to me, like, man, I wish I was you. No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wish that, because I'm just me. You be you, because I know that thing turned to envy, and I know my grandma taught me the steps of what happens, and then get to that level of destruction.
Good deal. Kurt, we gotta keep it moving. Gotta keep it moving. I asked you for the quote, brother. You read the book. I asked you for the quote, Kurt, and you read the whole book, man. Hold on, man. Hold on.
Man, go don't get away with that.
Hey, Kurt, I love you, brother. Hey, we've been knowing each other too long for me not to love you, brother. Stop. No, don't act up on me. But listen, let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what's on your heart?
Man, I love the post he made. I'm telling you, I just heard my grandma and my people and my older people talking to me. I hear my dad talking to me. But one thing about me, unfortunately, I thrive on chaos. I'm a cognitive being. Change, structure, recreation. I thrive on that because that to me is the is the universe and everything around me in existence. Recreation, destruction, and beauty. You know what I mean? And that's me.
Look, we freeze up 12 minutes to go, and we lose Raheem. But go ahead, Leonard, because it's been a second since you said anything. Well, Badger, I think Badger wanted to say something a second ago.
Go ahead, Badger.
Well, I was just touching on like the spectrum of respect. And there's a lot of people that I've noticed will use the word respect, but do it in such a way that a person has to act or behave a certain way to receive it. Like my some parents I've seen. You don't respect me unless you obey what I say. And there's people just out there in the world that does that. So when they get, especially kids that are surrounded by a concept like that, anytime they hear, the word respect, it's going to be coming from a place of abuse or trauma. So they have to completely relearn what real respect is, and how it's like, and what it's like to actually receive real respect. That's something that not only I, but my wife and a lot of people have had to learn over time. You know, what is showing respect, what is receiving respect, versus, what is, those that use the term or word respect as a way of control. And just
also,
like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that a lot of people, especially those who are not familiar with respect from a religious standpoint, one of the cornerstones of K through 12 is to teach respect. It starts usually, most preschool programs have it and things of that nature. So it's very important. But there is a way that respect has to be categorized, because respect is not absolute. You respect authority. That's not absolute.
Right.
Because if authority is wrong, why would you respect it? So we have to make sure, because what we don't want kids to believe that they can make demands in a household. You're out of order.
Mm-hmm.
Parents should listen to what their children say. The Bible even tells you how to deal with your children. You say, well, spare the rod, but it also say, do not provoke your children to wrath.
Exactly.
And so with everything that we think is so absolute, you have to really think about it. What's critical? This is when you get into critical thought. Critical thought is, it can't be just the first thing I heard. There may be other concepts or points of view about this issue. When you look at something critically, that's what that means. You test it. You look at it first before you start to judge. So say, for instance, I don't care how many articles you gave me, how many stripes I lost. If you tell me to do something that is unethical, bro, we might as well go on down to the jail right now, because I'm not doing it. Well, I'm a captain, and and you know what, Captain? You can kiss my private A before I do what you just told me to do. I don't follow bad orders.
Yep.
So we have to make that distinction.
But I
Like,
just
I think that's what my man Badger was kind of hinting on.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that people understand, just because somebody tells you something to do doesn't mean it's disrespectful not to do it.
Good deal.
You should want to do what someone tells you to do, especially if that based on your relationship with them. So relationship is very important when we talk about respect.
Good deal. We got 8 minutes, y'all. We got 8 minutes, so we're gonna do a round robin. We're gonna go circle around as much and as fast as we can and touch as many people as we can before we get out of here. Ibrahim, Ibrahim, you got cut off. Ibrahim, go finish your thought, brother.
Okay, yeah. Well, what I was talking about chaos, right? How I thrived on chaos, because chaos is actually, what you see in the universe, right? Like ethics. Ethics is a thing of somebody that's, it's no such thing, right? It depends on what a thought is or what a community is. You know what I mean? That's just like we talk about rights and we talk about law, and that's just based on the trends and what people feelings at the time. Like, is it ethical for a person to be able to walk through your property, but it's his right to walk through your property because that's a constitutional right. Come on. So ethics to me, if somebody tell me something unethical, it's based on what the whole concept about it is, what they're talking about. Change is the most coveted and current thing that we have. It's a growth process. Like I was saying earlier, the people that beat me down, right? That was a learning process to get better, to be stronger, to stand up, or maybe I should back down or something. And the people that I beat down and mistreated, right? That was a learning process. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I was right in doing what I did. You know what I mean? So to me, a learning experience. And a learning experience is that we take things that people done to us, or we take things out of term when even though somebody, we might feel that was abuse, that they did us a turn. You know, they kept a
Mhm.
roof over our head. They fed us. They kept clothes on our back, regardless of their social predilects
Okay.
of dating a married person or something like that. You know, what
Ibrahim,
did they do
Ibrahim,
for us? What did
wrap
we
it up
do?
for me, brother. We only got a few minutes. You know, we can't do the 3 minutes. I want to go around and touch.
What do you mean?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just because somebody puts a roof over my head and food in my mouth does not predicate them being able to abuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that a parent puts food in a child's mouth, what the hell?
Hey.
That gives them a right to, no, I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
That means that gives them a right to abuse me because they're putting a roof over my head and food in my mouth? Hell no.
Hey, Cassandra. Hey. Tucson, your sister on the road this morning. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Mm.
He still says, I don't think I'm gonna get too much help out of Tucson. Only thing they say was, that's not a good sign.
Well, yeah. But you know, I when you said something about respect and fear,
Mm-hmm.
I think if you want somebody to fear you, then you're looking for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have to, and I will not fear you.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got two people that want you to fear them, then you got to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody has to be the sensible person to just try to gain the respect rather than the fear.
Yeah, that's good.
You'll have less problems
Mm-hmm.
with respect. Just like right now, I'm gonna respect you and shut my mouth.
Lord Jesus. Captain, what's on your heart?
So I think I agree. You want respect, fear. People that you fear, they kill people that they fear.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't kill people you respect, but you damn sure will kill. You doggone sure will kill people that you fear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fear is why the child does not report the mother. Fear consequences. People use fear to control. They use fear to threaten you that if you don't do what they tell them to do, you're going to get fired. So the fear of being fired means the fear of poverty and not being able to pay your. So fear makes people capitulate
Mm-hmm.
to things they normally would never capitulate to.
Mm-hmm.
But no, respect. And I thank you for giving me this great opportunity because it's always good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're trying to, we're taught to obey those in authority over you as long it does not conflict with your religion. So I can obey anybody. You don't have to be a Muslim for me to obey.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. As what you teach me and what you telling me, if you're in law enforcement, to obey your, I would obey your authority until what you tell me conflicts with what I believe in.
Yeah.
And I have the right to go against anything that you ask me if it's in conflict of what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I obey anybody, white, black, gay, straight. If you're in authority over me on any issue, I am taught to obey you as long as it does not conflict with my religion.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for giving me this great opportunity and love everybody. Peace.
Hey, love you as well. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I remember when I was young, I used to always hear the days of a disobedient child shall be cut short. And that was always used against me to make me keep my mouth shut about grown folks' business. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm grown because I'm grown. You know, but I said that because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but my grandmother told me earlier on, like I said, it has to be reciprocal. You have to also know what respect looks like. You have to know that have respect, receive respect. People have to respect you the same as you respect them. Because if you don't, it can be unhealthy. And I will say unconditional respect and unconditional loyalty is definitely unhealthy because you will create a submissive person that will put up with and tolerate anything. But I like what Curtis said earlier about fear. If you make people fear you, believe me, they will treat you like the boogeyman. I know a situation where I predicted a death, and it's pretty much obvious what was going to happen. You know, when you terrorize people and want people to fear you, and they hear your name for 15 or 20 years throughout the streets as being this monster, those boys that heard you 20 years ago, when it's time for them to encounter you and they feel like it's their turn to have to fight you 8 times that day, and you whoop them 8 times that day, they ain't fixing to fight the boogeyman. They're going to go ahead and kill them.
Yep.
They've been hearing your name since they were 8 years old. Now here it is, they 24, 25 years old, and they still hearing you out here doing the same thing. No.
Your reputation precedes you. That's exactly what it is.
Scary people will hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, brother. Mr. Hicks, you there?
Yes, I'm sorry, I had my mute off. Yes, I was thinking about an incident when I was, I guess, about 9 or 10 years old in middle school, and I had this bully. We bought these toys at the corner stores, like a little airplane on a rubber, you could fly it in the air. And every day, this bigger guy than me, he would bully me and take my airplane. Man, and I would go home to my family. I wouldn't tell anybody. I didn't talk to my father about those things. And I would go home and say, tomorrow, I'm gonna stand up to him. And eventually, after about a couple of weeks of this, I finally stood up to this guy, and he said, when we get outside, we'll beat your butt.
Mm-hmm.
And said the other words.
Yeah.
And when I went outside, there's a whole crowd. Everybody in the class was waiting for this big old thing. And I don't know what happened. I went into a blank state. But in the fight, I got this guy latched against the mesh wire, the fencing around the playground. And I grabbed both hands on him, and I couldn't hit him because he's stronger than me. But I was holding him, and I reached down and I started biting him on his nose. I bit him bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, I was you king on the block. I mean, everybody bowed to me, and I got my ego big. And there's this kid in the class, right? I didn't have a book, and I walked up to him. I said, "I'm gonna give me your book. I need your book." And he was this, he had some kind of ailment.
Mm-hmm.
He was a disability, and he didn't walk that straight. And I was gonna try to bully him and take his book. Man, I don't even know what happened. All I know is I went to punch at him, and everything went circle. I mean, stars and everything, and I hit the ground. I didn't know what had happened. And it was in the class. It was in the classroom. It was in the classroom. It was in the classroom. This happened. So at lunch break, I went home. I put my sneakers on. I put my fighting clothes. I came back to class. I'm the man here. I can't take my title. And I walked up to him, and it happened again. He everything upside down, and I started seeing stars. I tell you, that one experience right there
taught you respect.
Respect.
Yes, sir.
It's
beautiful.
You don't know what people have. So that
was beautiful, man. That was beautiful, man. Hey, you tell me I need to do a skit. You need to do a skit on that, man.
Yes, sir.
I need to record that skit right there, man. Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
That's life. That is reality.
Yeah. He said, "Man, I'm gonna get my title back. I'm going to get my title back." Went back to went home, put on his fighting shoes and fighting clothes and everything. I'm going to get him. Wow.
He became my friend. He taught me some stuff too. We became best friends. I had to find out. That's when I got my first.
I wonder why y'all became best friends. I wonder why y'all became best friends. You sure ain't gonna try to fight him.
No, I wanted to teach me what you just did to me.
Exactly. Better leave me alone. I'm gonna go get him. Wow, Rico.
I learned respect.
Exactly. We ready to get out. Anybody have anything they want to say before we get out of here? Everything's good to go. Rico, what?
That's the greatest lesson we can learn today.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Man, I wish we would have started out a little earlier with that right there, man.
Somebody there that's
you right.
How bad you are.
Look at it. He said, and he did it again. Everything went black. I started seeing stars and lights and all kind of. Man, it was the 4th of July. I know it wasn't July.
Ringing in my ear.
They thought he was asleep.
Exactly.
He needs some milk.
Woke up on the floor, sucking my thumb. Woke up on the floor, sucking my thumb. Don't know what the world is going on. I ain't know what he did. Rico, what's
Hey,
going on?
why y'all let me sleep this late?
Man, I done missed my bus. How I'm gonna get home?
Man, that was awesome, man. I wish we could have started out earlier with that one, man, because I got a feeling Willa got a heck of a story.
Yes,
I got a feeling there's a lot of stories like that, man.
Mhm.
We could have had a laugh fest on that one, man. But like I said, that was so true and realistic of how sometimes how we have to learn respect.
Yeah.
Really shows you how we have to learn respect and how fear doesn't really work all the time. If you missed today's show and would like to see or hear the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Willa!
Raheem!
I said, Willa!
Raheem, you ready?
Are you ready?
Take us home. I am so ready.
You
Are
know,
you ready, Raheem?
Willa, let's
You
go.
ready?
Let's go.
And let's go. Let's go before the throne of grace this morning. Let's go being humble. Bow down head. Father, we thank you so much. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to get up this morning to commune one to another. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be on one accord. Even though we have different opinions, Father, we know that you are here, Lord, that the presence of the Lord is here. You said where there are two or more gathered in your name, that you will be in the.
Yes, Lord.
Father, I believe it, Lord, in the name of Jesus, Lord. Father, I'm asking you to protect each and every last one that's on this line. You said it in Proverbs that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You said to lean not to our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge you, and you will direct our path. Yes. Father, we believe that. Stand on your word. Touch each and every last one today on this line. Let a miraculous miracle show up in their lives, knowing that it was you that did it, Lord, so they could come back tomorrow with a praise report. I believe it's already done. Touch Raheem and his family. Keep this show a success. Thank you, Lord. We honor you, glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, amen. And it's already sealed and done.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
So be it.
Yes. Wow. Been a great broadcast, y'all. Been a great and a great way to end. We might have to start Wednesday off with that with Ibrahim, well, not Ibrahim, but with Mr. Hicks telling us that story about how he got the brakes beat off of him twice in the same day. Twice in the same day by the same person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back and I'm gonna get some more of this. You're not gonna take my title. I done stood up to this bully and I done been the king of the block all this time, and here you come. I just wanted to get your book. That's all you do is give me the book. Ibrahim, you got the book. you got the book. But listen, it's been a great broadcast, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:07. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day, and please be blessed. Love you. Talk to you tomorrow. God say the same.